following is a presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
The fourth time the Pack of the Orange meet up as members of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Orange fans are ready, Stan.
Bad news, third time the Wolfpack have had a 4-game losing streak under Coach Dorn in 4 years. Good news, State is 4-0 in those games in New York, and they snapped the 4-game skid last time, 2014, against East St. Orange.
Syracuse right now 4-5, fighting for a bowl game. Syracuse can move the football. That's not a problem. 11th in the nation pass offense, 336 yards a game. They just can't score. 23 points a game, 100th in the nation.
Syracuse and NC State kickoff at the bottom of the hour right here on the ACC Network. Welcome into the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks. I'm Katie Witham alongside Stan Norfleet and Tommy Bowden. Guys, 5 ACC teams find themselves in the second week of the college football playoff rankings. 6 teams right now are bowl eligible. 3 could join them today with a win. So the time is now, and the time is to take a look at the ACC standings. We could find out who's playing in that championship game later today. Clemson with a lockdown on that top spot in the Atlantic Division. They could clinch with a win over Pitt. Over in the Coastal Division, North Carolina down to number 2 after that Thursday night loss at Duke. Well, senior running back Matt Days is just 169 yards from becoming the Pack's first 1,000-yard rusher since T.A. McClendon did it back in 2002. We've got more ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks after this. Last week, Orange senior Amba Edetawo set a Syracuse record for receptions and receiving yards in a single season. We're going to see him in action today at the bottom of the hour in our Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week. The Orange hosting the Wolfpack on Military Appreciation Day. Both programs come into this one at a 4-5 mark. Welcome back into the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks. Katie, Coach, and Stan here with you, and let's talk more about our matchup specifically from NC State's side. What do you need to see offensively?
I think one thing for NC State offensively, you know, Ryan Finley, the quarterback, is playing good enough. He just needs some help. They're 11th in the ACC, NC State, in rushing offense, so they need for that to be productive. They're last in the ACC in red zone offense. They need big plays. They don't have a running back right now in the top 10 in rushing. They don't have a receiver in the top 10 in receptions per game or receiving yards per game. So help your quarterback out a little bit. Offensive line, running backs, y'all run it, and then somebody out wide makes some big plays.
Coach, I love where you're going. Obviously, Cuse is having some trouble, as is NC State, down in that red area. Both are last in the ACC, so that puts a premium on points scored when you get down there. The kicking game. We talk about offense, defense, also special teams. However, both teams struggling right now in the kicking game. But when you dig a little bit deeper, Cole Murphy, who's Syracuse kicker, 16% on the road, 70% in the Carrier Dome, where he's only missed 6 kicks in his career. I'm still thinking about my man Kyle Bambar for NC State, and is he still right after things not going so right versus Clemson?
All right, let's get more on this matchup, and for that, we are heading to Syracuse, New York right now to check in with our very own Roddy Jones.
Thanks, Katie. The big question this week for Syracuse is who's going to line up at quarterback, as starter Eric Dungy was knocked out of the game against Clemson last week with an apparent head injury, and we have still not had any word on his status. If he's not able to go, it'll be a pair of juniors, Austin Wilson and Zach Mahoney, that go under center for the Orange. And the coaches told us yesterday that that will likely result in a limited menu that still allows them to play fast. Now, NC State has the full range of offensive weapons at their disposal, including Matt Days, who rushed for over 100 yards last week against Florida State, and Naheem Hines, who broke out for 100 yards receiving against the Seminoles. Now, both teams come into this game with 4 wins and needing to win 2 out of their last 3 games. There's a lot to play for in the Carrier Dome. Now, they had basketball here yesterday, but today it's the Dino Dome, as the Babers offense will be on full display. We're looking forward to seeing it. Let's go back down to you guys in Charlotte.
Thanks, Roddy. We are looking forward to see it. And we just found out, guys, that Eric Dungy will not start or play today for the Orange. The guys are going to break that down here later in the show. Dino Babers and Dave Doran, they're getting set up in the Carrier Dome. Final thoughts from our coach and Stan next. The ACC Blitz is powered by Ram Trucks. Welcome back in. Moments away from kickoff in Syracuse, New York. The Orange hosting the Wolfpack. Final thoughts from these guys. We just found out that Zach Mahoney is going to be the starting quarterback for Syracuse. We saw more of Austin Wilson last week. You say they're two different quarterbacks.
Well, stylistically, they definitely are. Wilson is more of a dual threat, get on the perimeter, run around guy. Mahoney, what, a 144.8 passer rating. He's your traditional pocket passer. And if you think about what Dino Babers has implemented stylistically with tempo, pace, he fits more into what Dungy does than does Wilson.
So you like the choice?
I think it's the right choice.
Going with Zach Mahoney.
So at least starting out anyway.
He's got some more experience, too.
Well,
so.
I think it'll definitely affect their offense. Right now, both teams, NC State and Syracuse, are at the bottom of the conference, not only in scoring offense, but red zone offense. It's going to be interesting to see when they get down there. They're now in the 10th game of the year. Who can be more creative? Trickery, deceit, and deception. They need to do something this late in the season to put points on the board. It'll be a little more of a disadvantage of Syracuse without Dungy.
I feel like without Dungy, that's a huge piece to the puzzle. So does the Wolfpack have the edge now in this one?
Absolutely. We saw what Dungy did to Virginia Tech, another really good defense. Without that type of player, you know what he is in this conference. Definitely gives the edge to the pack.
Syracuse definitely going to have to step it up. All right, well, that's it for us here in the ACC Network studios. We're going to be back at halftime. We are heading right now to the Carrier Dome. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, and Roddy Jones have the call. Take it away, Tom.
Thanks, Katie. Here at the Carrier Dome, we have two teams still fighting for a bowl game. NC State comes into Syracuse with one of the most versatile players in the ACC, while the Orange counters with a record-breaking receiver. Who will be invincible today in the Dome?
When it's at its toughest, the greatest ones step up.
The success of this team depends on me. You hang in there, you fight, you scratch, you claw, and you find a way to win. The tougher it gets, what? The better we freaking play.
Syracuse, New York, and the Carrier Dome. Ernie Davis Legends Field, our hosts for the ACC Network Game of the Week, presented by Mellow Mushroom as the Orange storm on the field. It's the 10th all-time meeting between NC State and Syracuse here on the ACC Network. So great to have you with us for our game today. Tom Wormy along with Dave Archer. Roddy Jones will join us in just a moment. We'll start with NC State. It has one of the most exciting players in all of the conference, in Jalen Samuels out of Charlotte, North Carolina. 8 touchdowns on the season for Samuels. But Dave, we'll see him in many different places on the field today.
Yeah, maybe the most versatile guy we see all season long is Jalen Samuels. And he's so versatile, people don't know what to categorize him as. Is he a running back? Is he a tight end? Is he a wide receiver? He leads his team in receiving. How about categorizing him as a football player? And what this guy does best, score touchdowns. His last 22 games, he has 24 touchdowns. Now, when you talk to Syracuse and say, okay, how do you defend NC State? They say you got to find number 21, the bell cow runner, and he's closing in on 1,000 yards, is Matt Days. Better make sure you take care of number 21 first.
And Dave, those two guys combined in their careers at NC State have 60 touchdowns, so the Orange will find those two players this afternoon. Now to the Syracuse side of things, and yesterday we had a chance to talk to Dino Babers. He's the first-year head coach for the Orange. Eric Dungy's been outstanding at quarterback for him this year as a sophomore, but Dungy took a very rough hit against Clemson last week, was knocked out of the game in the first quarter. He was a big question mark. Did come onto the field, went through warm-ups, but the word from Syracuse is, Dave, that Dungey will not start the game today.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as a fan, you get a chance to watch the #2 guy in total offense in the ACC. But when a guy goes down, what does that mean? That's an opportunity for someone else. Austin Wilson and Zach Mahoney have been taking reps all week long at quarterback, and Zach Mahoney will draw the start. Both of them will probably play. In fact, Austin Wilson is expecting to play some with Zach Mahoney at quarterback. But whoever plays quarterback, you've got one of the big timers to throw the football to. Amba Edetao on the Biletnikoff list, probably the leader right now. His catch radius is amazing. He's a tough player down the middle, and the thing you probably like about him the most, if you're a quarterback, he's never covered. Just throw me the ball, I'll make a play. Amba Edetao is that guy. Now, Roddy, there's some defensive players that can heat you up in this game too, and Bradley Chubb's one of those guys.
NC State Arch has quietly put together one of the best defensive units in the conference, and the strength of that defense is the front four, and it starts with Bradley Chubb. The big-time defensive end had 1.5 tackles for loss last week against Florida State, giving him 13 on the year, which is good for second best in the ACC. And it's not just him. He's got a pair of 300-pounders in B.J. Hill and Justin Jones up front with him that create havoc for any offensive line. So this Syracuse unit up front is certainly going to have their hands full with that defensive front.
Really are, Roddy. A young group up front because of a couple of injuries to a couple seniors for Syracuse up front. And this is a talented core, as Roddy just discussed. In that interior front seven, they are difficult to handle.
ACC football is brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship game and Continental Tires at TireProSweepstakes.com. Syracuse won the toss, elected to defer, so Cole Murphy will kick it away on Military Appreciation Day here at the Carrier Dome with Veterans Day yesterday, and Nyheim Hines, the deep man for NC State.
Both these teams have guys that can take it to the house, and it doesn't take very long. Nyheim Hines coming off an outstanding day as a receiver last week against Florida State. He is one of the top returners in the country.
And we're underway from the Carrier Dome. Hines steps to it. Up the middle of the field and cut down near the 20. Time for our Food Line impact players, and we'll start with the Wolfpack on offense.
Nyheim Hines, the guy we just talked about, the returner. He's an outstanding receiver as well. You see the numbers he had against Florida State last week, and kind of been waiting for Nyheim Hines to break on the scene as a receiver. And we'll talk about a number of receivers across the board for NC State. At quarterback is the Boise State transfer, Ryan Finley. Fits the offense. The offensive coordinator, Coach Drinkowitz, was at Boise State with him. He understands the system extremely well and has had a nice year so far.
NC State 4-5 on the season as Finley throws on first down. That is complete beyond the 30-yard line. Kelvin Harmon, number 3 for the Pack, has the catch, 13 yards and a first down.
Take a look at our defensive impact players from Food Lion and Syracuse. Ira Franklin is good at linebackers in the country. You see 5th in the ACC in tackles, and he's got a running mate at linebacker. Paris Bennett, he's number 3 in the ACC in tackles. You'll see these two linebackers all over the field.
NC State 0-3 on the road this season. They've lost 4 in a row. That includes last Saturday at home against number 19 Florida State. 24-20, another close loss to a ranked opponent for the Pack. This will be Days trying to stretch it out. Makes the cut and goes beyond the 40. Matt Days on the run for the Wolfpack.
Well, an excellent run by Days, obviously, but it's his ability to get to the point. Ted Taylor, number 37, is actually going to have him in the backfield. He steps around him. The part that Days' game is kind of gets overlooked is he's slippery and he's got a little bit of acceleration that people don't see on tape. And then when they have to play against him, they realize this is one of the best backs in the nation.
Days had 9 yards on that previous run, went for 104 yards on 23 carries last week. They swing it out to Samuels. He's got the first down into Syracuse territory and pushed out near the 46-yard line by Rodney Williams. They got 10 on that one.
Well, quick early touch for Jalen Samuels. We talked about him in the opening. Good blocking on the perimeter, but Samuels is a guy that can line up everywhere and he can hurt you from all the spots. Jalen Samuels will continue to track where he lines up today. He'll be in the slot. He'll be at the wing. He's everywhere, and they've got to find him.
Samuels had a 100-yard receiving game against Clemson. They'll swing it around. This will be Samuels And he gets wrestled down at the 35-yard line.
And pushed Finley out wide and went to the Wildcat set with Matt Days at quarterback. And you get your two best players. Matt Days at quarterback, Jalen Samuels, that versatile player we talked about. Those two guys, they'd love to see the ball in those two guys' hands most of the day.
So Jalen Samuels has to go to the sideline. He'll sit out this play. Another first down, though, for the Pack as they continue to move the football. 12:40 to go. First quarter from the Dome. Over the middle, that pass complete. Just short of the 25-yard line to Cole Cook. He got 9 yards, and Paris Bennett made the tackle.
You see all that Coach Drinkowitz likes to do with spreading you out, running the football, throwing the ball to a variety of players.
And that is Bennett, who is shaken up for the Orange, the junior from Detroit, Michigan.
Number 3 in the ACC in tackles is Paris Bennett. And we talked to Zaire Franklin yesterday. These two guys were roommates when they first got on campus together. There's the big hit from Bennett. He tries to get up, kind of shake it off. Boy, those are those stingers that all linebackers get in it, the shouldered arm area. It's a big hit from Bennett at the back end of that.
Bennett has been a monster tackling for the Orange. Last 6 games, he's averaged 13 tackles per game. All right, Dave, how about our Carolina Ford keys to the game, the Orange and the Pack?
Pretty simple for NC State finish. They've been close in a lot of games. 4 games have gone into the fourth quarter with them having the lead. They have not been able to close the show, and some of against the heavyweights. And for Syracuse last week was a nightmare against Clemson. They'd like to dream Hokie, and it was in this building a few weeks ago where they upset what looks like potentially the Coastal Division champ, the Virginia Tech Hokies, right here in a big game.
So Bennett is on the sideline being attended to. Marquise Hodge, number 33 for the Orange, has come in. They've got the gray-blue uniform combination today with the camouflage S on the helmet during Military Appreciation Day, and they will stop the runner cold. Zaire Franklin was the first man on the scene.
Well, we talked to Zaire yesterday and asked him, and he didn't even hesitate. We have to make sure we find number 21. He's the bell cow of this running attack. He's the guy that kind of makes the offense go. I've got to make sure I find Matt Days and put him on the ground. That's exactly what he just did.
They lost 3. Josh Black was also there for the Orange, and now it's 3rd and 4. 42% of the season for NC State in this situation. 8th in the ACC on 3rd down. Finley lets it go over the middle, deflected away, incomplete.
Nice job by the inside. Whitner, the safety who's playing that nickel linebacker spot, is going to rock to the inside and guard the tight end over the middle. And Whitner gets that right hand in there and bats it away from Pharaoh McKeever.
So NC State appears to...
Well, with all the issues they've had, Tom, with kicking, this does not surprise me at all that Dave Dorn would put his offense, keep his offense on the field.
7 of 18 on 4th down this season. Trying to keep this drive moving. Pressure comes, and it's a sack for the Orange. Kendall Coleman breaks off that edge for the sack.
Well, the freshman became unblocked. Kendall Coleman, the freshman from Indianapolis, Indiana, unblocked off the backside for the Orange. Just a mistake up front. Taking a look at their pass protection, just a mistake up front. Got to make plays when you're counted on. Coleman's a freshman. He says, hey, this is my house. Syracuse with the ball when we come back.
ACC football is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Coca-Cola. By your local Chevy dealers. And by Haviland, official motor oil of the ACC.
The transformation of the Dome from basketball last night, the win against Colgate, to today's game against NC State. And that's how it happens here at the Carrier Dome.
Tom, Jalen Samuels left the field limping. I want you to watch the right ankle. He steps a little bit awkwardly just as he's contacted right there. Just a little awkward step. And Jalen limped to the left sideline.
First pass for the Orange, complete out on the edge. Irvin Phillips makes the catch. Zach Mahoney is in there at quarterback for the Orange.
And Zach Mahoney brings an element of ability to run the football as well as throw it, which is what Dungy does for him.
Mahoney's pass caught into NC State territory, and it's Irvin Phillips again.
Boy, and this is what Mahoney needed. He needed some early completions. You can bet that that's what they were trying to get him here, is some early throws, some quick throws. He's been very good on his first two. The confidence will go up exponentially for Zach Mahoney.
9 yards on the previous play. Coach Babers told us wants to get a snap off every 20 or 21 seconds. They're going deep for the home run ball, but Mahoney overshoots the intended receiver, Alvin Cornelius. Time for the Food Line Impact Players. We start with the Orange offense.
Well, we talk about the return game. Brisley Esteem will affect the game in the slot, but he's also one of the top punt returners in the country, averaging almost 20 yards a return. He is explosive. And Irvin Phillips is his running mate in the slot. He's equally as explosive. Two big-time players in that interior that you have to find and cover because they can turn a small play into a big one.
Mahoney seeing action in his 8th game this season. Coming into today, 9 of 13 on passing attempts, has not thrown a touchdown. Up the middle, close to the 40.
And an excellent read, Tom, on the zone read. Strickland's coming across on the read. Mahoney does a good job of pulling the ball out and keeping it straight ahead. And this is part of it. There's Eric Dungy on the sideline, the starter, number 2 in the ACC in total offense.
They'll hand it off up the middle once again. Dante Strickland, the sophomore from Dayton, New Jersey, right up the middle.
They're talking to Nino Babers about their run game. They want to be more physical in the run game. Because they're so young up front, they're kind of learning on the job. But at some point, this Syracuse team will be able to run the ball right at you, and they're doing it right now.
Mahoney again slings it toward the boundary, inside the 30, and caught. 8 yards on the play, and it's Cornelius again, the targeted wide receiver.
Mahoney working at a really nice pace right now.
Trying to get that first down with Strickland. Runs into the line. Needed to get to about the 26-yard line. It's going to be very close, but a little bit short for Strickland.
Just a little bit shy of the first down, so a little bit more time being spent on getting this play in. They want to get a first down, Tom. Be Strickland and Mahoney potentially in the run game.
Bradley Chubb not in the game right now, number 9 defensively for NC State. Monty Nelson is in there, number 94.
And if I'm NC State, I'm expecting run game with Strickland or Mahoney in that zone read package.
NC State comes up with the play. It's Josh Jones, the leading tackler on this team.
Well, they got exactly what they were expecting. They got the safety up in the line of scrimmage to defend against the zone read. Too many people for Syracuse to block. Now, because Syracuse changed players, North Carolina State has afforded the opportunity to change their personnel as well. That's why the official is holding the football.
5 receivers set for the Orange on 4th and 2.
I would still be aware if I'm in the middle there defensively, if I'm Fernandez, number 4, looking at quarterback draw potentially.
12 of 19 on 4th down. 3rd best in the conference. They're going to get this one and more inside the 20. Irvin Phillips spun out of bounds. They convert on 4th down, and they get 12 yards on the play.
Got Phillips isolated on the safety. Little in and out route by Phillips. Good job by Mahoney to find the matchup. Got him the football.
Lightning speed. They swing it out. This is Amba Tawo. He goes out of bounds. Forced out by Josh Jones. They got 5 on the play.
And neither one of these teams, Tom, are very good in the red zone in scoring period, but scoring touchdowns, but just 61%. In fact, these are the 2 bottom teams in the ACC in red zone offense.
Mahoney gets away from one man. Tries to turn it back inside, gets close to the 10, maybe 2 yards for Mahoney. Contavious Street on the stop.
Again, part of the reason Mahoney drew the start today, because Dungy couldn't go, is his ability to move around. And now Mahoney's going to split out. They're going to jump into a wildcat set here on 3rd down. Looks like Strickland will be your guy at the quarterback position.
It is Dante Strickland as Dungy watches on from the sidelines, the sophomore. Strickland will get the direct snap, goes up the middle, and takes it to the end zone. Dante Strickland for the Orange TD.
By Outstanding drive by Syracuse with their backup quarterback in the game. Great block out front by Fredericks, 22. He's the guy that gets the block on the linebacker that allows Strickland to step right in untouched for the touchdown. But a super drive by Zach Mahoney, engineered coming in, found out probably yesterday afternoon he was going to be the guy.
Third touchdown run of the season for Dante Strickland, taking the direct snap to the house.
Got a defensive stop on one end. Strickland takes care of his business with a Frederick touchdown, and the Syracuse Orange lead early.
A Saturday in November, always a good time to tailgate. It's boat time at Bojangles. Grab a big boat box, feed the whole group with Bojangles, chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Remember, it's always boat time when you're tailgating. 7-0 the Orange. Stop NC State on 4th down, then take it down the field for the first points of our game.
Yeah, found a way to convert and did a nice job of staying on the field. Give a lot of credit to Zach Mahoney. We said found out the 11th hour he would be the starter, and he's did a nice job of distributing the ball. A couple of big conversion plays, and Syracuse gets off to a good start.
That was a 61-yard drive, Dave, and Mahoney was 5 of 6 throwing on the drive. This would be Hines trying to gain the 20, and he will. A return of 20 yards.
Tom, we take a look at this play. It's an ISO play. Just going to kind of wash NC State's D-line down inside, and then Fredericks comes in and gets the linebacker blocked in the middle. Just an I-formation ISO, the old I-formation ISO play out of the shotgun. There's the block on the linebacker. Isolate the back on the linebacker, and then Strickland steps in for a touchdown. And Tom, that is the 6th time in 10 games that Syracuse has gone for an opening touchdown on their opening drive. Nice job of opening the game for Dino Babers.
Took 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Zach Mahoney engineering that drive in place of Eric Dungey. Unable to go after taking a hit and leaving the game against Clemson last week in a loss for the Orange. This will be Matt Days as we check in with Roddy Jones on the sidelines.
Tom, you guys mentioned a little bit ago that Jalen Samuels tweaked that right ankle on the run earlier in the game. They have retaped that right ankle, and it is heavily taped on the outside of his cleat. He is up and walking around, but it looks in serious discomfort at this point.
Roddy, thank you for that update as Finley wants to go deep down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Christopher Frederick back there in coverage.
When you talk about Syracuse defensively, they are really young. We saw the play by Coleman on 4th down that pressured the quarterback on 4th down. There's a big hit by Bennett, the linebacker. And then how about the freshman corner? Frederick comes over the top and knocks the ball away on the deep post route.
Trowell was the intended receiver for NC State. 3rd down. Finley over the middle. That's incomplete. Too high for his receiver. Rodney Williams in coverage for the Orange, and it's 4th down for the Wolfpack.
The tight end has been the guy Finley's tried to get the football to in a couple of conversion situations. This time the tight end locked on Williams right there, the safety. Nice job by Rodney Williams to get it out with the left hand.
Grizzly Esteem is the deep man. Esteem, best in the conference, 2nd in the nation in punt return average. Esteem's going to watch that bounce just beyond the 40.
It's amazing how a returner can affect the game. They didn't want to kick the ball to Esteem. Short kick out of bounds.
That was a 33-yard punt. Marshall Street, the social hub of the Syracuse campus, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. You're watching ACC football, presented by Mellow Mushroom. 7-0, the Orange with the lead against NC State in the first quarter as we go down to Roddy Jones.
Tom, when we talked to Syracuse defensive coordinator Brian Ward yesterday, he compared Jalen Samuels, the do-it-all guy for NC State, to David Johnson. Said that he coached against David Johnson at Northern Iowa, and said they used to move him around all over the place. Was a great receiver, a great runner, and compared Jalen Samuels and his ability to do everything to that guy who's having big success with the Arizona Cardinals.
That looks like it's an interception in the secondary, and it is. Jack Tocho went stride for stride with the receiver. Amba Edatawo took it away for the pick for NC State.
Jack Tocho, big corner, working against a big wide receiver. Roddy, you talked to Jack today, or during this week. He talked about working against big receivers.
He said that he loved working against big receivers. He said a lot of these smaller receivers, it's tough to get your hands on them when you're a guy that's 6'2" like Tocho is, but he relished the opportunity to go against a big receiver like Amba Edatawo, who is having one of the best receiving seasons in ACC history. He was really excited about this matchup.
Well, in that head-to-head matchup, it was Tocho who appeared to win it. They took a quick look at it. It's going to be NC State ball, and the second interception of the season for the graduate student from Charlotte, North Carolina, Jack Tocho. Matt Days gets the carry on first down, picks up 5.
And I really believe if NC State is going to have a lot of success today offensively, they need to establish a physical attitude up front. And they're trying to get to that with Days. Days has to be a featured part of what they do. They've got talented receivers on the outside, but Days has to be the focal point of what they do.
2nd and 5. Toss it out. It is Days. Looks like he's got a first down near the 30-yard line. Here's our Coca-Cola ACC standings after Days gets 12 yards on that play. We'll start, Dave, with the Atlantic Division.
Well, Clemson and Louisville at the top, but some teams really jockeying for opportunities. Wake Forest has had a nice year, obviously NC State today. And then Virginia Tech, benefactor of the Duke win over North Carolina on Thursday night, kind of clears the way for the Hokies. The Hokies had the tiebreaker on North Carolina, but it was really tight. Big win by Duke on Thursday night.
Their first conference win, and they get possession of the victory bell as Days runs it again just short of the 35. He got 4 yards. Zaire Franklin, one of the captains for today's game for the Orange on Military Appreciation Day, making the stop.
Yeah, not surprised, Tom, that they're leaning now on this offensive line to come off the ball and run the football against this Syracuse defense. The Syracuse defense giving up almost 200 yards on the ground per game.
6 carries and 28 yards so far for Matt Days. This time it's Finley over the middle near midfield, and he hits Steph Lewis. First down, NC State, and they got 17.
Well, it just clears the board. Whenever you can run the football, now play action has an effect to the linebackers. Stuck the ball in Days' stomach, pulls it out, and now Lewis is wide open over the middle because the linebackers have stepped up to take away run.
24th catch of the season for Steph Lewis, a sophomore. From the Syracuse 49, Finley. That's a short gain as he decided to keep it. Paris Bennett makes the tackle for Syracuse.
Just so active with these two inside linebackers, Bennett and Franklin. Bennett 30, isn't fooled by the little toss fake. He's there to make the tackle. Nice play. These two guys, really good.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years and over $4.5 million raised for education. You can see that NC State needs to get close to that 39 of the Orange. Finley on 2nd down. Pressure was coming. Got the pass away and complete to Harmon. Boy, had to act quickly, Dave.
Impressive throw with Ellison, the safety, coming on the blitz. But he stood in there, going to eat a helmet to let this go. But Finley going to take the big shot, makes a good, accurate throw for the first down.
Winfield making the tackle of Harmon. Freshman in that lineup for NC State on the sideline right now.
A lot of window dressing now up front for Coach Drinkwitz, the offensive coordinator for NC State.
Finley to the edge. Room to run. Cherry. First down and more. Battles his way to the 25. Now a penalty marker comes out at the tail end of the play. If it stands, it's going to be 13 yards for Braylon Cherry.
This flag came from the other side of the field where the action was going on, Tom.
Dave, our referee today, Riley Johnson. Our replay official, Andrew Panucci. We'll get the official word from Riley Johnson.
Personal foul, number 65 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul for Scott.
Jared Bradbury, the left guard, had gotten evidently downfield and dropped the hammer on somebody.
Garrett's family's in town. Had a chance to talk with them before the game. They were in the same hotel we were in, and they were excited to be up here. Garrett has done a nice job. Just a sophomore at left guard. He won't be happy with the fact he got flagged for that. I'm sure he'll have a discussion with his father after the game for that one.
And maybe with Dave Doran as well, the fourth-year head coach for the NC State Wolfpack. A couple of close losses this year against ranked teams. Florida State last week, and then that heartbreaking loss against Clemson in overtime in Death Valley, Clemson, South Carolina.
Now, Coach Doran has done an outstanding job of changing the personality of this team. When you see NC State get off the bus, they look like Florida State. They look like Clemson. They just need to try to close out and finish games, and that's the thing that they're trying. That's the hump they're trying to get over now, is to win the games against Florida State, win the games against Clemson, because they were in position to win both those games this year.
Dave, Ryan Finley had a great game against Florida State last week. 25 of 41, 304 yards passing, 1 TD and 1 interception. Dave Doran singled out their woes in the red zone as the reasons for losses. The game we called at BC especially, and then the loss to Florida State last week, where they had a chance to make an interception, couldn't make the play, and then Florida State scored what would be the winning points. So Finley tossed it off to Days, and he gets cut down. He'll lose 2 on the play.
Nice, aggressive play by Ted Taylor, the linebacker, senior linebacker guy that doesn't get talked about very much when you have all those other guys. But a nice job of Taylor, who has the versatility to step out in the slot. Not a big linebacker at 215 pounds, but can really run. Nice play there. We have not seen Days catch the ball. He's an outstanding screen back. Got to pay attention to Days in that category.
Finley, quick pass. That ball's on the turf. Scooped up by the Orange and Paris Bennett, but they're saying that the pass was incomplete.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. He didn't catch the ball. He bobbled it from the start. They set up the screen. Instead of going to Days, they're going to go to Cherry. And he never, ever squeezes the football. He bobbles it all the way, ball out. So good call by the officials. But showed Days to the wide side of the field and then came back with a tunnel screen to the backside, and Cherry just didn't catch the ball.
3rd and 15 inside the dome for NC State. Matt Days lined up as a receiver at the bottom of your screen. Finley, short pass underneath to the 35 and spinning down close to the 30. Braylon Cherry making the move for NC State. And let's check in with our Charlotte studio.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us to Thursday night. Duke with a winning score here, Coach.
Duke says, I don't care if he's got 3 guys on him. I'm going to squeeze it in. Davis Copenhaver with a 2-yard touchdown reception.
The Blue Devils with a 28-27 upset win over Carolina. Tom, Dave, back to you.
First ACC win of the year for Duke.
Tom, that completion allowed Dave Doran to go for it. They got enough to where they're in a 4th and short situation.
Syracuse stopped him the last time on 4th down. Finley wants more to the sideline, and it is incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, Zaire Franklin displaced from the middle linebacker spot to take on Days in the man coverage.
Defensive pass interference, number 4. That's an automatic first down.
Now, Franklin's the guy that's going to get called. We'll take a look at it. The home folk do not agree here in the Carrier Dome. But when you got a guy that's versatile as Days, as we take a look outside, Franklin reaching up with the right hand. Wow, didn't see a lot there. Got the left hand on his body. That might have been what the official saw there, the left hand out, reaching out. Franklin thought he'd done about as good as he could do right there, and I would tend to agree with him.
So on the penalty on 4th down, it is first down for NC State. Just 58% touchdown percentage in the red zone.
Yeah, we talked about these 2 teams are the worst in the conference in the red zone. Finley steps out, Days with the ball.
This is Days. Back to his right, charging past the 10 and ridden down near the 7. Paris Bennett made the tackle, but Days comes up with 9 yards.
Different ways to try to get your playmakers the ball, and why not just snap it directly to Days? Finley
wildcat set, snap it directly to Days, and then there's no exchange issue. He just takes the ball at snap and pushes it inside the 10-yard line.
Days averages over 92 yards rushing per game, third best in the ACC. 2nd and 1. 12th play of the drive for NC State.
Man coverage outside at the top of the screen on both receivers.
Finley gives it to Days. Stopped cold right at the line of scrimmage. No gain for Days. Chris Slayton leading the way for the Orange, number 95. And that could be the last play of this quarter.
Trying to run the ball against a 9-man box. The Orange were ganged up against the run.
A fast-paced first quarter inside the dome. The Orange and the Wolfpack. Syracuse leads by 7, but a chance for the Wolfpack when we come back as they threaten the end zone. Military Appreciation Day at Syracuse. Ben Schwartzwalder, the head coach for the 1959 National Championship team here at Syracuse, a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne, part of the first wave on D-Day. 1944 won the Silver Star, Bronze Star, and Purple Heart in World War II. And then the oldest living Syracuse alum who is a military veteran, that is Don Waffle. He is 100 years old, and he is honored today. 2nd oldest Syracuse military vet, and a standing ovation for Don Waffle here at the Dome.
McClendon in at quarterback, Tom.
Tosses it out to Days. Cuts it back. Days towards the goal line. And he's in. It's a touchdown for the Pack. Matt Days for NC State.
They had a chance to visit with Dave Dorn before the game, and they talked about how Jalen McClendon, number 2, a little bit better runner maybe than Finley, but more powerful, would be in the game to run the ball. But ultimately, this is about Matt Days. Got a good block on the outside by Pharaoh McKeever, the tight end, and Days punches it down near the goal line. He'll take a look at it.
So the play is under review. If it stands, Days will have the TD for NC State. In 4 days, it will be his 5th rushing touchdown as we get a look.
Gonna reach with the football. Very close. I don't think there's anything there. The definitive says he doesn't get in, and it was called a touchdown on the field. Nice job by Rodney Williams, the safety, to come over and try to make the play. This would be a good look. I think it's a touchdown, Tom.
Andrew Panucci, our replay official, and you must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call.
Overturn it. That's correct. That's a touchdown. Days gets a little bit of help because he's laying on top of the safety Williams at the back end of that. Nice run.
Matt Days trying to become the first 1,000-yard rusher since 2002 at NC State. Needed 169 yards today. He's got 40 so far if this play stands.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
And it's a touchdown for Matt Days. And think about how this drive started, Tom. We talked about the return game and the 2 guys that are returning kicks for both these teams. Braylon Cherry for NC State in the punts. Brisley Esteen for Syracuse. Because Cherry is so prolific back there, the punt was to the sideline to try to keep the ball out of his hands. Ends up being a bit of a shank, short field opportunity for NC State, and they cash it in with the Days touchdown.
Haskins has the extra point. We're all tied up at 7 here at the Dome.
Well, you talk about bell cow running backs. This guy's picture's in the dictionary next to bell cow running back. Days ties the score.
ACC football is brought to you by Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Mattress Firm. And by Bojangles, it's bow time.
The Heisman Trophy won by Ernie Davis and the legend of 44, Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, and all the other great players who have worn that traditional number, which has now been retired at Syracuse. Our first quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years, over $4.5 billion raised for education. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org.
Well, Tom, you wouldn't think that the numbers would be doubled NC State total yards to Syracuse if you're over 3 on third down. That's telling you how good NC State's doing on first and second down to achieve first downs and stay on the field.
A couple of yards deep for Sean Riley, and he decides to stay there. Let's go back to Charlotte. Check out some of the highlights from last night. Florida State and Boston College with Katie.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us down to Tallahassee. The Noles hosting the Eagles.
The best running back in the Atlantic Coast Conference. We've seen this so many times. The vision of Dalvin Cook, just 19 yards shy of the ACC record at Florida State, rather.
Florida State, a big 45-7 win over Boston College. Guys, back to you.
Well, Dalvin Cook, another big night, and I just continue to be impressed with DeAndre Francois and how he plays as a freshman. Just 50 yards of passing offense for BC last night against the Seminoles.
Orange trying to run it on first down beyond the 25. Up to the 27 at Strickland.
Looks like Boone, the safety, stayed down on the play, Tom.
Sean Boone shaking up, the junior from West Palm Beach, Florida. So the training staff accompanying Boone back to the sideline.
See if we can get a look at what happened. Strickland kind of probing, trying to find a way to get in there. Boone might have kind of crunched by the pile there a little bit. Got off on his own power.
So Boone to the sideline. Jarius Moorhead, number 31 in white, has come in for him. Flag comes out on this second down play. Not a lot there for the Orange. There's no gain and a penalty marker. Looks like a face mask is the initial indication there from Riley Johnson.
They're asking Coach Dorn if he wants to move it back.
Personal foul, number 59, grabbing the face mask, offense. And penalty is declined. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Tom, let's take a look at the penalty. We'll see. You see it pretty closely coming right at you. Go ahead and roll it, fellas. Roseboro coming off the edge, and here's your right there. Grabs the face mask. Pretty good call by the official. But Roseboro bursting to the inside. Darian Roseboro, the defensive end. There's Coach Huxtable, defensive coordinator for NC State. Does a heck of a job.
35 years in coaching for Dave Huxtable.
He's a guy, they are always good in that front seven. They get after you up front.
The Orange 2 for 3 on third down. Mahoney going deep, running down the sideline and caught inside the 30. Alvin Cornelius for the Orange.
Tom, how good's the throw from Mahoney? He just drops it down the chimney chute. All Cornelius has to do is make sure it doesn't go between his arms. What a throw by Mahoney.
Strickland on the run. The previous play, Dave, went for 46 yards from Mahoney to Cornelius.
Yeah, really impressed with the way Mahoney's handled his business. We know that Eric Dungy is the guy. Now remember, Syracuse subbed. If they sub a player in, then the officials have to allow NC State to change their personnel. I know the fans are upset here, but that's the rule. If you sub a player in, the other team is afforded the opportunity to sub as well.
So on second down for the Orange. That ball's on the turf. The exchange between Mahoney and Strickland, not precise.
Remember,
Mahoney falls on it.
It's a zone read, Tom, so there is a zone run play with a pass play off of it. And so Mahoney's reading it, and Strickland's trying to have a soft pocket to put the ball in, but then at some point he's either going to squeeze the football to take it or let Mahoney pull it out. And a little bit crossed there on their wires, and the ball is on the ground.
3 receivers to the left for Mahoney. That's the way he's looking. It's caught at the 25, and diving down is Irvin Phillips. He got 5 yards on the play.
Good play there by Niles Clark to come up and make the tackle. These are two elusive guys on the inside, Grizzly Esteem and Irvin Phillips, and NC State's done a decent job of not allowing them to beat them so far.
So Cole Murphy is on for the field goal attempt. He is 8 of 16 on the season, has connected from 51 yards away. That was against Virginia Tech. This one for Murphy, 43 yards away, and now a whistle stops the play and a flag comes out.
False start. Offense number 57. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
There's Dino Babers. These procedural type things where you get people in and out of the game, on and off the field, those are the parts that drive coaches crazy, because you drill it and you drill it and you drill it, and when you make those kind of mistakes, it just eats at a head coach. And you can see it, Dino's not overly excited about the way this field goal unit got on the field.
So Murphy backed up now to a 48-yard attempt. On the way. And it's good from Cole Murphy. Syracuse has taken the lead, 10-7. Yeah, those temps in the high 30s, low 40s, but it's always fun to tailgate outside the dome. The Orange up by 3. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. Today's coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast on Military Appreciation Day inside the Carrier Dome. Hines will be deep. Returnable from the 5. Hines dragged down beyond the 25-yard line. Devon Clark made the tackle on special teams. A 22-yard return for NC State. Here's around the ACC, and it's presented by Mattress Firm.
The big win by Duke on Thursday night. Of course, Florida State took care of business last night. Big slate of games today. Wake Forest goes into Louisville. That'll be very interesting. Dave Kloss's team playing at a high level. Of course, Virginia Tech hosting Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech hoping that they can hang on and represent the Coastal.
Wake Forest is bowl eligible. And it looks like Jalen Samuels has returned to the lineup for NC State. There he is.
That's good news to NC State fans.
Finley gets it to him. Breaks the tackle. Tries the stiff arm, ridden out of bounds. Rodney Williams defensively for the Orange.
Yeah, tried to test him early. Really good play by Corey Winfield, number 11. The corner's right there in his face as he catches the football. Then Samuels, you see how elusive he is, but you can see a little bit ginger on the ankle. In fact, he's getting off there. He is headed off the field. That might have been a test more than it was anything else, Tom.
An All-American and a first-team All-ACC selection in 2015. Jalen Samuels to the bench right now for NC State. Finley floats it. Had a couple of receivers in the vicinity. The ball lands on the turf near midfield. Looked like Kelvin Harmon, the freshman, was there for NC State, but it's incomplete. And now 3rd down.
Really an interesting design there, and I'm not sure they wanted that kind of spacing. Had a receiver up the sideline and another one in his hip pocket, but this crowd here in the Carrier Dome senses they've got an opportunity to potentially seize momentum in the game. Samuels back in the game right there. Jalen Samuels.
3rd and long. NC State, they're 1 of 4 in 3rd down during this game. Finley through the progression with all day. Sends it down the field and caught. Nyheim Hines cannot run the Syracuse defenders, but he's inside the 20. Williams and Ellison finally got him.
Yeah, Hines going to run the post route down the middle of the field. Now he's covered initially. He runs by the safety, and because Finley escaped the pocket, it extended the play, which made it longer for the secondary to stay on coverage, and he was able to find Hines down the middle of the field for the big play.
56 yards for the Wolfpack on that play. DeQuay Nichols, who's a 27 and a junior from Rockingham, North Carolina, gets the carry. Davon Ellison makes the tackle after a 6-yard pickup.
Getting Days some time on the sideline, let him get his breath, and Days, we say that, Matt Days checks back into the lineup. They know they want their playmakers on the field here in the red zone.
Ellison's a sophomore in that secondary for the Orange. Days in as the running back. Finley's got it. Tries to carve it outside, and he can't. Ellison came up to make the stop for Syracuse.
Yeah, and I thought Finley was too indecisive on the run, Tom. Cook, the tight end 48, is going to get the block. If he stays outside, he's got room to run. But because he delayed and chopped his feet, Ellison closed for the safety spot to make the play. Nice play by the safety. And Finley limps to the sideline, and in comes McClendon, the more of the runner of the two. But boy, Finley doesn't look good on the sideline grabbing that left ankle.
Jalen McClendon, sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, is in. 2 for 5 on 3rd down last time. They connected on the long pass play. They'll try to run it this time inside the 5 and a 1st down. And it's Matt Days. 1st and goal, Wolfpack now. The Orange at the end of the play saying that they have the football. The officials don't agree.
His power running game right in behind the big fella there. Number 70, Prescott. And Days. Now, Days, the ball did come out late, and Syracuse was pointing to their side, and Dino's kind of taking a look at the big board in here, trying to see if did the ball come out. But the officials have not decided to stop the play, so 1st and goal now for NC State. Well, you've got their 2 playmakers in the game, Days, 21, and number 1, Samuels. And now they're going to take a look at it, and rightly so. I take it back. A timeout by Dino Babers.
The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, Babers ran out signaling timeout, and then ultimately they did get the whistle down below. Let's see if the ball comes out here for Days. Looks like the elbow on the ground before. Yeah, he is laying close to laying on top of one of his own players. See if the elbow hits the ground.
That's the center, Joe Selfo, trying to get out of the way.
I think elbow on the ground. It is close, but I think elbow on the ground means he's down on the ground.
Ted Taylor is the Orange player who came up with the football at the very end after that elbow hits the ground of Matt Days.
Yeah, once the elbow's down, I believe he's down.
Again, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn that call. Andrew Panucci, our replay official. Well, do you think that call will stand or be overturned? You'll have your say at the ACC.com live vote right now. Participate in the live vote. The poll only open for the next minute. So vote now and we'll see how this turns out.
This is a good one, too, because it's very close. I think the elbow for Days is on the ground, so that would, in my estimation, would make him down or stay with the call that was called on the field. What do you think? Get your vote in now.
The fans are going to decide on what they think. Get the opinion from the fans on this particular review. Doran, Babers, and Riley Johnson, our referee. If it is not overturned, that ball sits at the 3-yard line of the Orange. A chance for NC State to scrimmage 1st and goal, if it stands.
The ruling on the field stands. Syracuse will not be charged a timeout due to the fact that replay buzzed the officials before timeout was called. 1st down.
And that was the concern, I think, for Dino. If they weren't going to get it turned over, was he going to be charged a timeout? They buzzed him just before Dino called the timeout. So the play stands as called. There was nothing conclusive there. It would have flipped it over. And so NC State now scrimmages from the 3-yard line.
Overwhelmingly, Dave, our fan vote, 82%.
There's some great officials sitting at home watching the game.
Well,
that's what I've been saying all along.
Is your insight too, Dave, about the elbow hitting? Well, here it is, 1st and goal for NC State. Matt Days accepts the snap. Around the corner, Samuels trying to get to the pylon. Right on top of it, and it's a touchdown. There's the indication. Samuels took it to the pylon from 3 yards out for the score.
Well, you can tell, Tom, watching Jalen Samuels, and he was extremely patient on this run. It's a jet sweep, but you just don't see maybe the real push-off that he's got in that right ankle, but he does have enough power to break the plane there just inside the pylon for the touchdown. Now, they always take a look at these scoring plays. And they get word that it is a touchdown by Jalen Samuels. Those are the 2 guys you expect to touch the ball down there, Tom. You expect 21 days, #1 Samuels. Those are 2 scoring guys.
That's the 5th rushing touchdown of the season for Samuels. Connor Haskins, who came in last week against Florida State and made 2 field goals for the extra point, and he converts.
Well, it takes big plays, and Nyheim Hines set the table. And then the handoff to Jalen Samuels. We'll be back right after a word from your local ACC station. Well, nice drive by NC State. Big play by Finley to get out of pocket and find Nyheim Hines, and Samuels punches it in from 3 yards out. 7 plays, 73 yards, and 326. So nice answer to Syracuse scoring on a couple of drives. Got a good game, Tom. These 2 teams battling, trying to get themselves in bowl position.
Riley's going to watch that one bounce. It'll be a touchback. Amba Adetawo today, just 1 catch for 4 yards, but what a game last week against Clemson. Despite the loss, broke 2 school records for yards in a season and receptions in the season for Amba Adetawo, the transfer from Maryland.
Tom, and he did it in 9 games. He's had over 100 yards in 6 of the 9 games so far. He has been limited today, and rightly so. NC State's paid a lot of attention to the potential Biletnikoff Award winner. He's on that list of players they're considering for that award as the top wide receiver in the country.
See how quickly the Orange moving on offense. Mahoney's pass hits the turf incomplete. Intended for Irvin Phillips. Sean Boone in the coverage.
And when you talk about the efficiency of their offense with Dungy out and Mahoney in, give Mahoney a ton of credit for taking advantage of his snaps and understanding what was going to be responsible for, and that means keeping the tempo offensively.
Mahoney's going to be dragged down in a sack, and an easy one for Bradley Chubb as he grabbed him around the waist to make sure he didn't get away.
Well, this is the guy Roddy Jones told us about at the beginning of the game. Brandon Chubb is one of the premier edge players in the ACC, and you see he just muscles his way into the backfield. To me, based on the way that protection looked, the offensive line was expecting the ball to come out. They talk about the efficiency at quarterback. That might have been a ball that Mahoney needs to get rid of a little quicker, but Bradley Chubb can heat you up in a hurry from the defensive end spot.
7th sack of the season for Chubb, who leads the team in that category. 3 for 5 on 3rd down for the Orange. Mahoney backing up, dropped it off, and it's going nowhere. Arius Moore on the play for the Wolfpack, a loss of 1, and now 4th down for the Orange.
Tom, we talked about how active these 2 linebackers are, Fernandez and Moore, and boy, that pleases Dave Huxtable, the defensive coordinator. No, that's not Santa Claus. That's
and you can say that because you're good friends with him.
I've known Hux a long time, back a long way, and he is a fine football coach. And you see him trying to change some of the looks for Mahoney to create some problems.
Hunt from the end zone. And caught by Cherry in Syracuse territory beyond the 45, maybe the 47-yard line. That's a punt of 36 yards. We'll see who comes out at quarterback for NC State. They've got the lead in the Dome, 14-10.
14-10 NC State here in the Carrier Dome as the Wolfpack look to go back on offense. And we saw Jalen Samuels leave the game earlier with a right ankle injury, but came back and scored the touchdown on the last drive. And Art, you mentioned it. When you're playing with an ankle injury, that straight ahead stuff is usually pretty easy. It's the ability to explode and to cut that's very difficult. It looks like Jalen Samuels is starting to overcome that, but we'll keep an eye on it as the game goes on.
Well, Samuels back on the field, but Finley is not. McClendon in at quarterback, Roddy.
McClendon runs for a short gain inside the 45. Got 4. There's a flag on the play, and now the teams are squaring up with one another, separated by the officials.
talked to the senior center, Joe Selfo, transferred in from South Alabama, and just did a little bit too much there for the guy kind of directing traffic on the inside for this offensive line. Ran into Coach Dorn, not pleased about that. Another one of those penalties, Tom, the procedural type stupid stuff. Okay, can't make those penalties. We saw Dino Babers bothered by. You see Dave Dorn upset with that as well. There's Ryan Finley on the sideline. He limped the sideline with an ankle.
McClendon passing. Hines. And Hines up close to the 48-yard line.
You know, when you talk about coming in as a backup quarterback like Jalen McClendon, this is a guy who gets a lot of snaps in practice. They had a package of plays ready for him today anyway, so this might have been a week. It might have been a little bit different than most. They were expecting to play Jalen McClendon anyway. He was of the mindset he was going to be in the game. But now in the game as the guy, so that changes things a little bit because the pass game, a part of what he has to get done.
3 for 6 on third down in the game for NC State. This one long, 3rd and 16. They send it out to the right side. Cherry up close to the marker.
Yeah, I think they'll go for it. I think that this is an aggressive mindset Dave Dorn has today. This is a screen play again. Quick, easy throw for McClendon. Get it to your punt returner, Braylon Cherry, and immediately hit it up the field. Yeah, no hesitation by Dave Dorn. Remember, here are you two guys. There's Samuel, there's Days. The quarterback and viable runner as well.
4th and 1 for the Pack. Days, right side, reaching for it. It'll be very close. Paris Bennett on the tackle for the Orange.
Boy, and Ellison just missed him, Tom. The safety has a chance at Days. Watch number 19, the safety. Here he's coming through clean, and he has a shot right there, and he missed him. If he'd had a chance, they could butt him up straight on. I don't think Days makes the first down, but a good job of Days sidestepping the blitzing safety and getting the first down.
Paris Bennett, the junior, one of the older players defensively for the Orange. Very young up front. Cherry could not get away. It was Rodney Williams coming up first to make the play for Syracuse.
It seemed like the ball took a long time to get there too. Play fake by McClendon, but then took a little while to get the ball to Cherry, and in turn Syracuse rallies to make the tackle.
Second down for the Pack after a loss of 1. NC State leads this series 8-1. Won the game last year in Raleigh 42-29. Also won 2 years ago right here at the Dome. McClendon taking off. Room to run. Inside the 25 and backs his way down close to the 20. He'll mark him at the 21-yard line.
So we talk about game plan, and now Brian Ward, who expects Finley to be in the game, and this is not really Finley's bag, but it is McClendon's bag. So now you have to change and think about, okay, the quarterback becomes a viable runner. Excellent job of making it look like pass. Had some success with the screen to the outside. Pulled a number of defenders out of the middle of the field, and McClendon's got room to run.
Got 17 yards on that last rush. 1st and 10, NC State.
Double pass.
Looking for the gadget play. And coming up to make the stop is Williams on Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers played quarterback at Arabia Mountain High School in Lithonia, Georgia, and this is a double pass. They were looking for a gadget play. Look at the job by Syracuse to take away the throws. Excellent job in the back end, and a good decision by the freshman. Myers pulls it down and gets what he can out of the run play.
McClendon saw his most significant action in that win against Notre Dame in the adverse weather conditions caused by Hurricane Matthew, and a 10-3 win in Raleigh for NC State against Notre Dame. Flags are out. In fact, there's 2 yellow rags on the field.
Number 27, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Now, these are the kind of plays that head coaches, they just want to bang their head on the wall. These are mistakes that you're not forced by the opposition to make these mistakes. And Nichols, who's an outstanding back, just couldn't hold his water leaning forward there, and you lose a 2nd and 5 opportunity. Now it's 2nd and 10. See Ryan Finley standing on the sideline. The transfer from Boise State injured his ankle, and it's been McClendon's show.
Inside of 3 minutes to go in the half. McClendon taking off again. He likes that left side, and he gets wrestled down close to the 11 by Ellison, and he got 11 yards on that rush from McClendon.
6'5", 215-pound McClendon. This is his strength. Going to pull the guard out in front. In fact, Will Richardson, the tackle, pulls out in front of McClendon, and a lot of hitting in the back end of that one. I don't think there's a lot of secret to what they're going to do here. Days or McClendon will be the ball carrier. Syracuse going to crowd the box with 10 defenders.
3rd and 1. McClendon trying to get it. Taken down very close to that 10-yard line. He got 2 on the play. And that is going to be a 1st down. So they'll move those chains.
Now, NC State has had some success on the perimeter, Tom, of these quick throws from McClendon. Hines is in the slot at the top of the screen as the chess game continues between the two coaches. But look for Hines right here, explosive player. Nobody really out there for Syracuse.
You see that line of scrimmage just beyond the 10-yard line, which means they can get another 1st down. This is Days down inside the 5, and he just hammers his way down inside the 2. Jonathan Thomas absorbing the contact from Days.
Matt Days has had a heck of a year. Came in with 6 of his 9 games over 100 yards. In fact, 11 of the last 17 games Matt Days has lined up. He's gone for over 100 yards for NC State, coming off a 100-yard performance against Florida State last weekend.
Well, Days just got 8 yards on that play. Carried the ball 23 times last week. The clock now just over a minute to play. 1:05 and rolling.
And part of the plan, they realize that they're in perfect position as Days lines up in the Wildcat.
McClendon came out as a wide receiver, and the Orange electing to take a timeout on 2nd and 2. So we'll step aside for just a moment. Be back after this word from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Back inside the Dome. Great to be here in Syracuse, New York. Coming back to the Carrier Dome.
But Tom, NC State's done an outstanding job of milking the clock here at the end of the half. And how about the drives? A 13-play drive, an 11-play drive. This would be the 12th play of this drive. Also a 7-play drive for a score.
McClendon hands it off. Days ran into his own man and then forced on back. Roadblock City as the Orange forced Days backwards.
Well, Syracuse did a good job, Tom, of preventing the cutback. McKinley Williams blew up the backside play. See, Days trying to cut back. No place there as Payroll McKeever, the tight end, was blown up by McKinley Williams.
The Orange has called the timeout with 53 seconds to go. Tickets to the 2016 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game in Orlando on sale now. Game will be in Orlando on December 3rd, and tickets are available on Ticketmaster. Carrabba's Italian Grill is partnered with the ACC to offer a special 4-packs, including 4 tickets, 4 ACC hats, and a $20 Carrabba's gift card. All for just $220. Call to order while supplies last. Both Virginia Tech in the Coastal, Clemson and the Atlantic can clinch with victories today. Clemson taking on Pittsburgh. Virginia Tech hosting Georgia Tech. Inside the Dome, 53 seconds to go at 3rd and 2.
Oh, this has got to be Matt Days. I would think you're going to go with your bell cow player.
McClendon still has it. Wanted to throw, does to the end zone. It's intercepted. The Orange intercepts it. Rodney Williams back of the end zone, and the pick for the Cuse.
Just a really nice job by Syracuse to stay at home. They zoned off the play. They did not want to get beat by the jet sweep in a man coverage situation. Hines is going to cross his jet sweep. They want Days in the flat, but Syracuse stays at home. There's no place to throw the ball. And then an ill-advised throw into the back of the end zone by McClendon, and Williams is there to steal it. Syracuse does a really good job just staying at home, stayed on coverage. And a nice play by Williams to float back and steal it.
Second pick of the season. Lewis was the receiver in the back of the end zone, but before he could get to it, Rodney Williams steps in front and has the pick of Jalen McClendon. Third interception this season that McClendon has thrown, and that's going to cost NC State some points. Strickland on the run. Loses one.
Tried to conserve some time, but deep in your own territory, I think Dino Babers will be careful with the football here. Got your backup quarterback in the game, and Mahoney's done a nice job taking care of the ball. Just don't want a silly mistake cost you points.
Pass to Cornelius. Alvin Cornelius, the senior from Staten Island, New York, has been targeted several times today. Picks up 6 on that catch.
Well, and I think you see now here with him running out of bounds, NC State should maybe burn a timeout if Syracuse can't get a first down. Yeah, I would expect an NC State timeout right here. And there it is. Dave Dorn going to punch the timeout, put Braylon Cherry up to bat. He's the outstanding punt returner. Mistake by Syracuse to run out of bounds on second down.
Okay, the timeout taken, and we go back to our Charlotte studios with Katie.
Thanks, Tom. Well, coming up at halftime, we're going to talk about this one. And, Coach, I know you've been impressed with Zach Mahoney.
Well, I tell you, he's really done well. I've been surprised. Right now, 9 out of 12, but only for about 90 yards. Traditionally, Syracuse throwing for 336 a game. They're not letting him throw it downfield. I'm anxious to see what Dino Babers does second half.
What about the Wolfpack?
Wolfpack do not have confidence in their kicking game. Went for it on 4th down 3 different times rather than kick. We talked about that.
Well, you thought they'd use them in the Carrier Dome. Hey, we've got more fan voting coming up at halftime. Keep it right here. Tom, Dave, we want to see what you guys vote for.
Katie, thank you. Back here at the Carrier Dome. Just 10 seconds to go, but it is a punting situation. Sterling Hoffrichter, our Haviland defensive shield. Syracuse averaging 127 yards, but just 12 so far on the ground, Dave.
Yeah, NC State really crowding the line of scrimmage and taking away that option. Now, here's an option. See how Dino Babers handles this. Do you kick it to Braylon Cherry?
Fair catch made successfully at the 39-yard line. That's a 37-yard punt. Now we've got 4 seconds to go in the half, Dave Archie.
Well, what I would do here is a lot of people like to throw the Hail Mary. I'm not doing that. I got Jalen McClendon in the game, my backup quarterback. I'm going to throw a tunnel screen. I'm going to set something up for Braylon Cherry. He wasn't able to return the punt. How do you set up a punt return for Cherry in that situation? Now, you know Syracuse is going to play off, so it's going to be an easy completion. Now you can build some blockers in front of him and potentially get Cherry some running room to the wide side of the field. That would be my call here.
Cherry has 4 catches for 39 yards. Both of the TDs for NC State, rushing TDs. 7-yarder from Matt Days and a 3-yard TD run from Jalen Samuels, representing the 2 scores for NC State.
See, Syracuse playing way off. You're going to be able to complete the pass. Cherry is in the slot at the top.
McClendon to his right. He'll step into one. He's this one high and up for grabs. Bounces around, and maybe an interception by the Orange on what will be the final play of the quarter, and it is.
Well, Tom, maybe more importantly, Jalen McClendon got unlocked. A big hit at the back end of the play. And we know Finley's injured, so let's see how Jalen McClendon comes out after halftime. He was crushed as he let it go.
Whitner will be credited with the interception for the Orange, their second. Jonathan Thomas was the one who put the hit on Jalen McClendon to close out the first half. As we go down to Roddy Jones.
Coach, we saw Ryan Finley leave the game. What do you know about his status right now?
His foot's beat up a little bit, so we're going to try to get him back if we can, but he wasn't full speed right there.
Obviously, you're disappointed with the turnover at the end of the half, but what are your thoughts on the offense's play?
We got to get touchdowns in the red zone, period. That's not acceptable.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Well, Katie, It's been a back-and-forth affair here. I heard you guys have a live vote at halftime. I'm prepared with my phone. Looking forward to see what you guys have down there in Charlotte.
We're looking to see which way you cast your vote, Roddy. Definitely. Welcome into the halftime show. You just heard Dave Doran say we got to be better in the red zone, and you literally agreeing with him while he's speaking, because that's what you've been saying.
And they came into the game. We talked about it in the pregame that both of these teams are 13th and 14th in the conference in red zone efficiency. I'm like, look, points are going to come at a premium. If you get down there, you've at least got to be able to make 3. And Doran isn't even allowing his kickers, Bambard and Haskins, to even attempt them. They had two of the last 3 games, they haven't even attempted a kick. So something's going on with that kicking game, and they just can't get the points. Now that Finley's out, how do you manufacture that offense at this point?
Yeah, and it doesn't help that McClendon threw that pick. A big interception, though, for Syracuse. Coach, could give them a little more momentum.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach the game plan in the second half with Jalen McClendon, the young, inexperienced quarterback. And you saw the mistake right there at the first half, trying to make something happen, trying to get points. Coach Doran mentioned points or touchdowns in the red zone. He tried to get one, but just an inexperienced, youthful mistake. See how much he learns in the second half. But it wouldn't surprise me if both these teams don't get more creative in the second half.
You would hope so. All right, well, we're going to take a look around the league, revisit this game and also our earlier ones. Lots of highlights. Keep it right here. Welcome back into the ACC Network for our halftime report. Katie Witham alongside Tommy Bowden and Stan Norfleet. We've got a good game, our Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week, happening up in the Carrier Dome. Let's see exactly how we got to halftime. And Syracuse got on the board first, but here comes Matt Days plowing his way into the end zone. That tied it up 7-7. NC State trying to do it again. Can they strike again? Yeah, that's Jalen Samuels, a 3-yard touchdown run. That put them ahead. But, Coach, it could have been a bigger lead right here. What is going on?
Well, we try to teach a young quarterback, you're going to get points. You're in points position. But Rodney Williams, defensive back from Syracuse, comes up with the interception.
And that, I think, was a huge momentum changer. What have you thought so far, Stan?
Well, Syracuse should be thanking their lucky stars, right? They don't have their quarterback. Clearly, Dungy's not playing today. And then for Finley to go down, I think if Finley had been able to finish this first half, the score would have been a lot different.
Opportunities for some young quarterbacks. All right, Thursday night in Durham, Duke hosting North Carolina. This is the second half. Daniel Jones finds Davis Copenhaver. A nice little jump pass there. That was the winning touchdown. But the Tar Heels, Stan, they had a chance.
The game was right there for Trubisky, and he had a moment at a bad moment. And he tried to do too much, forced the ball. Congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils. They deserve to win that ball game. Excellent, excellent game plan by the head coach, David Cutcliffe.
That was Alonzo Saxton the second with the pick. Devastating loss, though, for North Carolina. Okay, Friday night in Tallahassee, the Noles hosting the Eagles. What does Florida State do? They give the ball to Dalvin Cook.
He's pretty good.
A little stutter step there. He gets a 19-yard run. That made it 21-0. They piled it on. 45-7, Coach. The Eagles, they were just overmatched.
Yeah, I tell you, DeAndre Francois, again, another solid game. Took a beat. He took some shots in the game. Florida State has been real consistent up front for protection. But again, another impressive performance by the freshman quarterback, DeAndre Francois.
Jalen Samuels, he's also been pretty impressive in our game so far. He's done it on the ground. He's done it through the air. We're going to talk more football. Keep it here. Matt Days. Love seeing him today. Stick around, more after our word from our local stations. Getting set for third quarter action. NC State on top of Syracuse, 14-10 right now. That's it for us here in the ACC Network studios. For Coach Stan, I'm Katie. When we come back, you're going to be back up in the Carrier Dome. Thanks for watching.
Gillett has been rocking our games all season. The band joined our team 7 years ago with their double platinum single Monster, and they've kicked off our coverage every Saturday this year with their hit single Feel Invincible. From their new album, unleashed. Skillet has sold more than 11 million units worldwide, so we'll see who's invincible as we look to Orlando for the ACC Championship. Back inside the Dome before we kick it off for the second half. Tom and Dave with you. In Syracuse, Dave, without its starting quarterback, Eric Dungey, in this game, close at halftime. For NC State, though, they're dominating this game statistically, Dave.
Yeah, dominating in time of possession, plays, all those type of things. Give Zach Mahoney a lot of credit. He's forced into service as the quarterback for Syracuse. He's done a good job of taking care of the ball. Now, they're going to have to get more out of their players, but Mahoney's done a nice job of keeping them in the game.
All right, as we look forward to the second half, we get a chance to take a look at our Gatorade halftime stats.
Well, you see that differential in plays. 44 plays for NC State. Syracuse only 25. Syracuse's lowest total, what, 65 a couple of times, 63 a couple of times this year, so well below their number, but their defense has been opportunistic. They've done a nice job of keeping themselves in the game. Roddy caught up with Coach Dino Babers.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Zach Mahoney's play in the first half?
You know, he's 9 for 12. He's taking care of the football right now. He's doing a nice job.
Defensively, you've had some timely turnovers. What do you have to continue to do to get them off the field?
Well, we got to get them off the field. We've had them in some crucial 3rd and longs, and they've been able to wiggle their way out of it. We've got to find a way to get them off the field so we can get that time of possession back in our favor.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Rob.
Roddy, thank you. A couple of interceptions in that first half for the defense of Dino Babers. NC State having a big day as far as the stats are concerned. Matt Days, Dave, 14 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown run.
Yeah, they're limiting him to just 3.9 yards a carry, but this is the guy that needed to get going, and I think NC State has got him going to a certain extent. He got the touchdown run that has them ahead 14-10 right now, but he's going to need some help. And will Ryan Finley answer the bell to start the second half? Jalen McClendon finished the half. Finley hurt the ankle. Matt Days may even be leaned on more in the second half for NC State if their talented transfer quarterback can't go.
Got his 29th career rushing TD in the second quarter. That's 5th in school history. Zach Mahoney forced into action. Eric Dungey could not go today for the Orange.
I was impressed with the way he started, Tom. He was very confident. They did a good job of letting him run the ball, physically get into the game. He took care of the ball. He had the one interception, but it was a shot. He took a shot down the field. He made that throw, which was outstanding, to Cornelius on the outside. Tried to get the ball to Editao on a deep shot that Tocho ended up stealing, but it was a play that almost ended up kind of like a punt. So Mahoney's done a nice job. Now, only 100 yards of offense. They're going to have to get more offense. You're going to have to get Brisley's team and Irvin Phillips involved, as well as Editao. He's only got one catch in the first half.
Riley waits as the deep man for the Orange. Keep in mind, Mahoney had only thrown 13 passes all season. He's thrown 12 today, completed 9 for 88 yards. From the goal line, head his team to the 25. Slipping by a tackler at the 27 and up to the 30. Sean Riley, that return, 31 yards for Riley. ACC football brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship game in Orlando and Continental Tires at TireProSweepstakes.com.
You know, when you look at Syracuse and when they went into the locker room, what did Dino Babers talk to them about? You got to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. That means maybe Strickland and some Wildcat, which I think we're going to see here. Maybe Phillips and his team touching the football. Obviously, Editao's got to touch the ball as well.
So they're working with Strickland, who got the snap. He's going to lose a yard for Strickland.
Syracuse is in a little bit of a problem. We see a man down here for Syracuse, and that is Strickland, the running back. Took a shot at the back end of that. But NC State realizes Syracuse doesn't have their main guy at quarterback, and so they're going to challenge the line of scrimmage. They're going to come up and crowd the run game and make Mahoney try to make some plays in the passing game.
Strickland has the touchdown run today for the Orange. It came in the first quarter. It's a 10-yard run on a 12-play drive for Syracuse to get the first points of the game.
We take a look here. Just a big hit at the back end. A lot of, he got bent, kind of twisted and bent, turned around there.
Street and Fernandez were in on the stop of Strickland there in the pile. Eric Dungey, the sophomore, on the sidelines, took a rough hit against Clemson last week and had to leave that game in the first quarter.
There's a snap count. Dungey 18 seconds. Mahoney averaging just under 23 seconds. Still fast, still very fast compared to most teams in the country. But you could see a little bit more going into the play calling and trying to get Zach Mahoney in a situation where he'd be successful.
Mahoney takes off on this play, goes up the middle and close to the 35-yard line. Fernandez taking him down. 5 yards for Mahoney.
And this will be key, Tom, for Syracuse to stay in these manageable third down situations. So there's a little bit more in the play caller's playbook here against NC State.
On 3rd and 6. That one is incomplete. They had been 3 of 7 on 3rd down. They'll miss on this opportunity to Irvin Phillips.
What NC State's doing is they're crowd the line of scrimmage against the run game, but they're also playing up tight on the receivers, which is potentially taking away some of the screens and some of the quick, easy throws to Mahoney. So Mahoney's going to have to make some throws against this man coverage down the field.
Hofrichter to punt. Waylon Cherry waits for the punt. 3rd 3 and out in the game for the Orange. And they have to punt it away for their opening possession of the second half. Hofrichter hammers this one. Bounces at the 5 and goes into the end zone. The 65-yard punt will come out as it went into the end zone. And Cherry didn't even move. He knew that was going to be way over his head.
Yeah, that's like the center fielder hearing the ball hit off the bat, knowing it's going over the fence. Take a look and see if Ryan Finley is the guy or if Jalen McClendon comes in. It looks like Finley is going to come on as quarterback for NC State. Ankle injury in the first half. You're just now joining us. Ankle injury forced him out of the game in the back half of the second quarter, and Jalen McClendon came on.
Finley in the first half, 9 of 14, 138 yards and a TD pass. And now Samuels tries to shake a tackler and is taken out of bounds by Rodney Williams with the escort to take him out, and 12 yards.
Here's the injury to Finley, or this is what he did prior to the injury. Really was good, got out of the pocket. Here's some of the run game that he brings to the table. But that was where he twisted his ankle and he limped to the sideline, and then Jalen McClendon came on, and McClendon threw a red zone interception that drew the ire of his head coach, Dave Dorn. And so Finley back in the game.
Quick pass, completed to 40, and breaking away. Harmon to the end zone for the Wolfpack. How about 68 big yards on the play? Finley to Harmon.
Just a missed tackle. Tom, this is a play where Syracuse is in position. The slant route off the zone read right there. Just missed the tackle. That's Paris Bennett, who's one of the top tacklers in the ACC. Just could not wrap up Harmon, and Harmon off to the races. The freshman came in with 4 touchdown receptions. He's now got 5. Boy, how do you make a statement to start the second half? NC State kind of plodding offensively. Get it to your talented freshman. NC State leads.
ACC football is being brought to you by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
The statues of the legends, war number 44 here at Syracuse University. Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Floyd Little. All-American players, and Floyd Little is a ever-present image of Syracuse football.
Tom, I got a chance to see Floyd Little play as a kid when he played with the Denver Broncos. Came in, and I was living in the Bay Area at the time, watching him play against the Raiders. What a player.
3-time All-American. In attendance today. Sean Riley gets up to about the 18-yard line, and is an 18-yard return for Sean Riley. The college football playoff rankings brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Well, North Carolina took it on the chin on Thursday night to Duke, so they most certainly will drop, maybe out of the top 25. But Virginia Tech poised to potentially go to the ACC championship game is Clemson. Both those teams, as Tom mentioned earlier, can clinch with victories today and get themselves in the title game, and that would be a heck of a matchup.
Clemson trying to defend its title from a season ago when it beat North Carolina in Charlotte, North Carolina, at that championship game. Mo Neal, number 21 for the Orange, a freshman from Gastonia, North Carolina.
Yeah, NC State is selling out against the run. Their linebackers, Moore and Fernandez, not even paying attention to these slot receivers on first down. They're just trying to take away the run game.
Mahoney, little bit of time. He's going deep, running under it, and catching it. Umba Edatawo, and he will score for the Orange.
Well, we mentioned that Mahoney was going to need to make some plays down the field. If you're thinking about making one down the field, how about picking out one of the top receivers in the nation? Umba Edatawo goes 81 yards to put Syracuse right back in the game.
Wow. 8th receiving TD of the year for Umba Edatawo, who up until that point, Dave Archer, had been quiet. No longer for number 7.
Only one reception on the day for Umba Edatawo.
He probably had a conversation with former receiver coach Dino Baber, said, hey, get me the rock.
Umba Edatawo pulls the Syracuse within 4.
21-17, 2 touchdowns between the teams, Dave Archer, in 37 seconds.
Wow, that was a charge put right back in the building. You talk about your car need to put the jumper cables on it. They just jumper cabled the Carrier Dome because Umba Edatawo, 81-yard touchdown.
Career-long reception for him, career-long throw, Mahoney. This is Hines. On the return, past the 25-yard line. It's a 19-yard return.
Tom, neat little adjustment. Here's Umba Edatawo right here. It's man coverage here. Here's the free safety. He's supposed to be in the middle of the field to help out against the man coverage. Jones does not get any depth, and right here he is. Here's Edatawo. He's gone.
And a big-time throw. Give Mahoney a ton of credit now. He hung the ball with some air, pulled Edatawo away from the defender. It was a perfect throw by Zach Mahoney.
And Zach Mahoney all the way down to the end zone. He had to run about 90 yards to get there to celebrate with Edatawo. Mahoney now 179 yards passing in the game for the Orange. NC State has the football. 1st and 10 from the 26. Days. Dropped at the 30. Ellison with the tackle for Syracuse. Let's check in with Roddy.
Tom, you saw the explosiveness from the Syracuse offense, but the pace is what they're known for. And when we talked to some of their defensive guys during the week, they said that they can get up to 80 or 90 reps in practice. Paris Bennett said it makes them really good at communication pre-snap because there's no time to go back and forth. It makes them really good at taking pictures of the offensive formation and being able to sort things out on the run.
Well, good point, Rod. You can see it going on. Those 2 linebackers talking to everybody.
Finley's pass is incomplete. Looking for Lewis. Williams defending for Syracuse, and closely at that.
And one of the things that happens is to the defense that people forget about. When you're at home, the crowd's loud, so as offense, you get the benefit of the home crowd being quiet. On defense, Roddy, you got to handle the crowd noise.
You definitely do, Arch, and even though this crowd isn't the biggest one you'll see all year, they are rowdy, and in this dome, the sound just reverberates, so it gets very loud on the field here in 3rd down.
Both linebackers in the A-gap right here, double A-gap look.
Finley's pass deflected. Looked like Josh Black got a piece of it on 3rd down for Syracuse.
Yeah, and you might ask, well, what's that do? Now all of a sudden it's man blocking up front, and someone may come clean, which changes the thought process of the quarterback. Got to get the ball out quickly. If you're not going to get to the passer, get those hands in the air and bat the ball down. And again, a good job up front. Josh Black is the guy that elevates with the left hand and bats it away.
Punt for the Pack. A.J. Cole. It got blocked.
Well, it looked like Riley, the wide receiver Riley, is the guy that comes in. Sean Riley, the freshman, is the guy that gets the block. And Tom, I don't think if he hadn't blocked it, there was a couple other orange that were going to get it. Riley, number 10, going to come off that right edge, got his right hands on it, and batted the ball up in the air and recovered by Syracuse. Looked like Cullen, number 24, was going to block the kick if Riley didn't get there. Two freshmen. What a big play by the youngster.
So first they knock down a pass to create 4th down. And then Riley gets a piece of the punt. And now the Orange with spectacular field position with the ball at the 17-yard line. Trailing 21-17, 11:42 to go in the 3rd. Mahoney spinning and dropped rudely as he turned around at the 20. Lost 3. Bradley Chubb right up in his grill.
Yeah, got introduced to Mr. Chubb again. This is a sudden change situation for this defense, for the NC State defense. See how they handle it. This is something that most defenses grill on throughout the week.
It's a 5-receiver set for Mahoney. Pulls the trigger over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Phillips was the receiver who could not hang on.
Sean Boone's right in his hip pocket, the safety, but that's the matchup you're looking for. Irvin Phillips against the strong safety. Phillips bobbled the ball, which made him slow down just a count, and then Boone was able to strip it out.
Eric Dungy, who could not go today, the sophomore for the Orange, after that hit against Clemson last week. 3 for 8 on 3rd down for Syracuse. Zach Mahoney's played well in place with Eric Dungy today.
Amba Etatau up here. Look, a safety helping out on Amba Etatau at the top.
The play clock is down to 2.
They got a little... That's one of those scenarios, Tom, you see in basketball time. We see some great basketball here in the Carrier Dome. Is you take a timeout and you go ahead and figure out what's going on. And Dino Babers did that. We'll be back right after a word from your local ACC station. 3rd quarter in the Carrier Dome. NC State leading 21-17. Sean Lewis, offensive coordinator, really the pass game coordinator for this Syracuse offense. And we had a chance to visit with him along with the rest of the staff here. Mike Lynch does the run game coordination as well. But this is a player when they want to take care of the football. Zach Mahoney with a spread set.
Both of those guys assistants at Bowling Green with Dino Babers. Mahoney retreating. This one is caught. Amba Etatau reversing field. And then he goes down to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it was not designed, Tom, to be any kind of screen, but it took so long for Mahoney to get him the football that it ultimately turned out to look like that. Etatau going to come from that left side on that shallow drag play. He wanted to get him the ball quickly, but just quick pressure by Street up front forces Mahoney to retreat to where it ended up looking like a screen, and it wasn't supposed to be. Credit to Etatau to get whatever he could out of the play.
Cole Murphy, 39 yards away. And the kick is good for Murphy. Now 2 for 2.
But I will say that's a victory for NC State's defense. A block punt deep in your own territory. If you can come in and limit the opposition to 3, that's what NC State did right there.
Let's go back to our Charlotte studios and Katie.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us to Charlottesville, and Coach, Miami's tied it up.
I tell you, great cut by Joseph Yearby. 10-yard touchdown run, ties the game up 7-7.
Guys, for now, back to you.
Katie, thank you. Mizell has a touchdown for Virginia. Brad Kaya has thrown a TD pass.
How about Taquan Mizell? He needed 10 yards receiving coming in today to be the first player in ACC history with 1,500 yards rushing and 1,500 yards receiving. Tells you about the career of Smoke Mizell as a Virginia Cavalier.
Dave, don't forget next week 2 games on the slate. Some may see Miami, NC State. Others, Virginia and Georgia Tech coming up on the ACC network. Week 12. What a season it has been. What a great chance to return to the Syracuse campus and the Carrier Dome. for a fantastic football game today. NC State with a 1-point lead right now. Hines ridden backwards, but they'll rule him down just beyond the 20-yard line. A 16-yard return by Hines. Take a look at our Haviland Player of the Week. Lamar Jackson just continues to pile up the touchdowns, 7 of them against Boston College.
The guy's incredible. He's just 3 touchdowns shy, rushing or passing for the ACC record, which was set last year by Deshaun Watson. How about that? 47 touchdowns by Watson accounted for a year ago, and Lamar Jackson sitting on 45 right now.
Deshaun Watson's team hosting Pittsburgh. First time those teams have met since 1977. As Days is on the run for NC State for 3 yards.
Now this NC State offense has become a bit stagnant. They've done a good job of getting the ball to the perimeter, getting Braylon Cherry the ball on some of these quick screens. Jalen Samuels on the jet sweep. A little bit indecision on what personnel they want on the field here. Trying to get their tight end set in the game.
2nd and 7. Days turning that corner and going shoulder to shoulder with the defender. That was Frederick on the edge for Syracuse.
Good hard running by Days. He just outruns Franklin to the edge. Matt Day's going to have to make a play here, Roddy, for NC State if they want to get this thing going.
He certainly is, Arch, and not only does he help this team on offense, but he helps them on defense as well. They held this NC State defense held Dalvin Cook to 65 yards rushing last week, and Jack Tocho says it's because they face Matt Days on a weekly basis. He's one of the most versatile guys in the ACC, and he's going to have to be as he split out wide on this play.
Got the linebacker Bennett on him up here on top.
Finley pressured and he's down. Could not find a receiver, and Slayton made sure he was trapped.
Yeah, really just lost his footing. Good pressure by Slayton up the field, but Finley just kind of feet slip out. He's actually in a pretty good spot. Just slips out, and Slayton will get credit for the tackle. Let's take a look at the coverage across the board on those quick throws. Wow, good job by Syracuse to take away all those throws in man coverage.
Cole punts it, the low liner takes a bounce at the 41-yard line. Esteem is going to watch it tumble and roll inside the 35. That's a 44-yard punt. All right, let's take a look at what you, the fans, are saying in the Mellow Mushroom Tweetsa. Just told you about Lamar Jackson, what he did last week. Crazy stats. He's on your fantasy team, right, Dave Archer? Good grief. I like that.
Yeah, how could you not?
Hashtag Heisman. There's another one. Tough decision. Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson, who's going to be player of the year, both putting up those huge numbers. All right, by the way, Mellow Mushroom wants to give each of these fans $100 in pizza. Congrats. Look out for a Twitter message to claim your pizza. Those are the Mellow Mushroom Tweetses for this afternoon at the Dome.
Two outstanding players. Here comes the gadget play. Strickland threw one against Virginia Tech.
Gets away from a couple of defenders and then gets erased at the 35.
Yeah, that's good film study right there. That's NC State realizing that Strickland had thrown the ball earlier in the game. He's going to load this up, looking for Brisley Asleem in the slot. Little stop and go. Nice job by Gnarls Clark to stay at home.
Syracuse quickly up to the line of scrimmage. That ball bounced around. Both teams had a chance to get it, and finally it ended up on the turf incomplete. I think you mentioned Dante Strickland for the Orange. An 84-yard TD pass to Brisley Esteem in that win here at the Dome against Virginia Tech for Syracuse.
Well, and remember, that was seen on film, and a good job for NC State to take film work to the field.
Mahoney lofts it up. Cornelius adjusting. Tried to get around Josh Jones, but he had great position defensively, and it's incomplete.
And the right place to go for Mahoney. He's got Cornelius locked on the free safety. That should be a win, but Jones showed his coverage ability there. Stayed right in the hip pocket of Cornelius, is able to bat the ball away.
Fourth time the Orange go 3 and out.
And 2 really good series defensively for NC State. They got the stop after the block punt, forced the field goal, and here they get the 3 and out. So NC State's defense trying to ante up. They're looking for their offense to step up.
The previous play is under further review.
So Riley Johnson tells us that they're going to take a look at it. See if they can determine indisputable video evidence.
Of what?
Of the previous play.
It was an incomplete pass. Okay, here we go. He got did his knee touch down as he tried to pick up the ball? And no, he did not.
Based on that replay.
Well, that's the replay.
There would not be.
I'm getting to learn. You don't have a law degree as well as your broadcast degree, do you?
Well, I did. Now that you brought it up, Dave, I did get a broadcast journalism degree from Syracuse back in '91. Full disclosure.
Sure.
And this is the first time I've had a chance to come back and broadcast the game from the Carrier Dome. So this is a fantastic day all around and a great effort by both teams today.
Absolutely. And you conduct yourself like a true professional since we've been here. So I'm just wondering, was there a law degree sprinkled in there all the time? No? Okay.
There was not.
Okay.
But 4 great years in the late 80s, early 90s. Again, we're taking a look at the right knee.
There's no question. The knee is not down. The calf is not down. The elbow's not down. Nothing's down. Not sure why this is taking so long.
Riley Johnson still with the headset on.
I think this is one of those deals where they talk to people up and somebody's gone to get a Coke and they got to wait for the guy to come back. Okay.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
There you go. So, got it right.
Great replay from our production crew to solidify the fact that he was not down in the punting situation for Sterling Hofrichter, a redshirt freshman. Braylon Cherry will wait for this punt. Again, Hofrichter just nails it. Sends Cherry back to the 15 and taken down at the 10. Cornelius on the special teams tackle, 50 yards on the punt. Let's check in with Ronnie.
Tom, with it being Veterans Weekend and Military Appreciation Day at Syracuse, we got a chance to talk to Dino Babers about how close that hits the home to him. Luther Babers, his dad, was a chief petty officer and a 21-year Navy man who was deployed on the USS Enterprise, which was a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. He played fullback, and when we talked to Coach Babers about it, he said that his dad instilled in him the discipline that it takes to be a head coach. Also instilled in him the sense of family and the fact that on Veterans Day, all of them used to go back to the base, so it certainly means a lot and a lot of great memories for Coach Babers.
The other thing that Coach Babers' father Luther told him was that Jim Brown was the best football player ever, no question about it. And there are many people out there who would agree, especially the folks here in Central New York.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of argument from anybody that Jim Brown was the best football player to ever lace him up. And Dino Babers, there's a lot of energy in this building or at this school because of Dino Babers and because of his staff. You can feel it in their building. There's a lot going on here. They've got something special brewing here at Syracuse.
2nd and 14. Just a little dump off by Finley. It's out towards the 20-yard line. Matt Days on the run.
Well, the versatility of Matt Days, they're trying to get their big timer the ball as much as they can. He's 3rd in his team in receptions. We talked about how good he is as their feature runner. But why not fill up your best players with a football? Days is at running back, and the other guy we talk about all the time, Jalen Samuels, is in the slot at the bottom of the screen as this crowd trying to rally this defense.
4 of 11 on 3rd down in the game for NC State. 3rd and 4. The pass is caught for a first down. Braylon Cherry.
Well, it's a heck of a catch, too. Cherry, this is what you call a contested catch. Tight coverage, ball placed perfectly. Now it's going to take strong hands because you've got the defender trying to rake it out. Good job by Cherry to squeeze the football for the first down.
5 catches, 47 yards for Cherry. He got 8 on that previous play and a first down for the NC State Wolfpack, leading 21-20. We're about to cross the 6-minute threshold of the 3rd quarter. Days fights his way through up to the 32 or 3. He'll get 3 yards on the carry. Matt Days, Deshaun Wilson making the tackle for Syracuse.
And you keep that run game, keep pounding that run game, and this is a team that's got very active linebackers. Franklin and Bennett are 2 guys that like to fill against the run. Expect Finley at some point to play action and throw in behind them.
See our matchups coming up next week. Miami, NC State, Virginia, Georgia Tech. This NC State team hosting Miami, haven't played Miami since 2012. They'll have won 2 of the last 3 against the Canes. Work to do against the Orange. There goes Finley, and he gets popped.
The Ellison, the safety, comes down, Tom. This is when they let the linebackers flow. That means Ellison, the safety, has got to pay attention to the middle of the field. And the way the linebackers are flowing out with the Samuels motion, that's who's got to fill. And there he is. Ellison just drops the hammer.
3rd down again. Everybody up in the dome. Finley to pass. Coming back to make the catch at the 44, Kelvin Harmon. What a play on 3rd down.
Well, it's a really well-thrown ball against man coverage. Perfect offset throw to the back shoulder. Watch where this ball is put. There's no way it can be defended because it's right on the money. The timing is impeccable. And how about the freshman Harmon? 6'3", 195. Ball on him as soon as he comes out of the break. Freshman from New Jersey getting it done.
4 catches for 100 yards for Harmon. That includes a 68-yard TD pass in the 3rd quarter from Ryan Finley. Play clock at 3. Days will spin his way up to the 48-yard line. Days got 5. Franklin made the tackle down to Roddy.
Arch, you pointed out the fact that Ryan Finley twice on this drive has put the ball in perfect positions for his receivers to catch it. And that's what defensive coordinator for Syracuse, Brian Ward, pointed out to us as well. He said the thing that stands out about Finley is that he puts the ball in great spots and that he's as good at that as anyone in the conference, including Deshaun Kaiser and Deshaun Watson, 2 guys that many people think could be first-round picks in this upcoming draft.
Again, continue to sprinkle the run in, and just finishing with what Roddy was talking about. This is not Finley's first rodeo. Transfer from Boise State, played a lot of football for the Broncos. As we watch these linebackers read, react, and close, Bennett and Franklin, and another 3rd down situation to try to get off the field if you're defense, to try to keep the chains moving if you're on offense.
Yet another critical 3rd down for NC State inside of 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They have converted 2 3rd downs in this drive. Finley the pass. Hines goes up and gets it at the 40. Again, NC State clutch on the catch from Hines at 11 yards.
Well, Tom, there's so many playmakers on the field for NC State. You talk about Samuels and Days, but you got Cherry, you got Naheem Hines. Good look off by Finley. Make sure that the safety stays in the middle field and then throws the little delay route to Hines for the 1st down.
3 catches and 69 yards. Naheem Hines. And another 3rd down converted, the 3rd of this drive for NC State. Finley uncorks another one. Kind of behind and low, trying to find Steph Lewis.
And Tom, that's a play where Lewis has got to understand what's going on coverage-wise. See, young receiver, sophomore receiver. They showed a corner up tight and a safety over the top, and Finley's trying to shoot it in that hole along the sideline. And that's where the young receiver, Lewis, will learn. He's got to understand what's going on coverage-wise.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years and over $4.5 billion raised for education. This drive started at the 14 for NC State. They've gone almost 8 minutes now. Days took a few orange tacklers to bring him down. Bennett and Franklin for Syracuse.
Yeah, Ted Thompson's not going to get credit for the tackle. It'll be Bennett and Zaire Franklin. But watch Thompson, 37. He's going to be to the right of your screen. He blows up the front lead block, and that allows Bennett and Franklin to flow and make the tackle for no gain.
3rd and 12 for Finley. Again over the middle. Caught by Samuels. Samuels around the corner, and he's got the first down again. NC State converts on 3rd down for the 4th time on this drive.
This is a play where Samuels just checks down over the ball, and then this is a coach is saying, no, 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 wait a minute, that's Jalen Samuels. I'm okay with it. Ronnie, what a play by Samuels.
And that's the thing that Jalen Samuels brings to you. His ability to run after the catch is uncanny, and for a guy that big, he's tough to bring down, as you saw in that play.
3 catches, 28 yards for Samuels. Now back to Days. He's down to the 20.
And Tom, this has been a workman-like drive. No explosive plays, converting on 3rd down. 12 plays now in the drive. Samuels and Days and Hines and Cherry all making plays. Harmon. Just been a great effort by their offensive line to continue to move the football. This has really been a heck of a drive by NC State.
How about Matt Days in the game? 21 carries for 68 yards for Days. Going to call his number again. Days around the corner, down the sideline, and Days will score for NC State.
Tom, the first explosive play of the drive is Days on the end run. Excellent job of setting the edge by this offensive line. And what a drive. 13-play drive by NC State. Did a really good job.
20 yards, 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Matt Days. He now has 30 career rushing TDs as he took it down that far sideline.
Days, we talked about how important he has to be to this team. Excellent job of getting to the perimeter, and then the speed. You know about the power, you know about the strength, but the speed to get to the edge. Going to try to get it. We got to seal that edge and let Days get on that edge right there. And NC State does a good job. Get the reach block by the tight end. Excellent block there, and then Days with the speed to the edge to shove it in the end zone. But, Tom, that was the first explosive play of the drive. They went 4 for 4 on 3rd down, had to convert, stay on the field. Just a real workman-like effort by everybody wearing the white hat. Now, coming in, we talked about Matt Days, ranked #1, 5.4 yards a carry, 4th in NC State history, 34 touchdowns. Of course, his 28 rushing touchdowns is 5th all time. Whenever you have a running back like Ted Brown, the numbers are going to be pretty high that you're chasing as an NC State player. But, boy, he has had a heck of a career.
And now 36 career touchdowns for Matt Days. He'll keep that one in the end zone. Well, Haviland is giving you a chance to vote on this season's best offensive and defensive players and head coach. And maybe Matt Days is on that list. Visit the ACC.com/fanvote to make your picks from across the league. Cast your vote today.
A lot of good players across this conference. We've had the pleasure of watching a ton of them. We've got a bunch of them on the field today.
Dave, how about NC State? You see that drive right there? That is their longest of the season. 14 plays. They cashed it in with Days from 20 yards away as he turned the corner and took it in for the pass. Mahoney had pressure right in his face, and this one is picked off, and a flag comes out. Josh Jones came down with the football. There is a penalty marker on the play.
I thought Editao got grabbed at the back end of his route. Let's see if that's going to be the case here. Editao was kind of being doubled on the play, and it looked like he was grabbed. Yeah, Coach Dorn's he's saying tipped, all sorts of stuff.
See what Riley Johnson has to say.
I didn't see the ball get tipped, but it certainly looked like Editao got hooked.
Yep, big time pressure too on.
Yeah, and that's what
Mahoney
forces the interception, is the pressure in Mahoney's face.
Holding defense on the pass across the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, and holding completely negates any tip ball scenario. If it was pass interference, then a tip ball comes into play. And I'm not sure there was a tip ball, but if you're holding, all bets are off on the tip pass thing. That doesn't count. Let's see if this ball does get tipped, but it doesn't. It's not going to matter because a holding call. Now he just hit his arm, and that's what ultimately led to the interception. But a holding on Editao earlier was the flag.
1st and 10 for the Orange on what should be the final play of the quarter. Home run ball. Editao trying to adjust on it. Incomplete, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. What a football game. Syracuse and NC State going toe-to-toe. 28-20, the Pack in front as we head to the 4th.
And back in the Carrier Dome, 28-20. NC State leads, and it's that time. It's the 4th quarter. It's put-up time. So both teams locked in as they try to drive towards the finish. Both these teams trying to get bowl eligible. Even the fans are 4th quarter. I said, you know, Tom was holding 4 fingers up here in the booth. They bought him 4 hot dogs. I mean, I don't know what that's about.
I shared the hot dogs. 28-20 ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Into the final quarter. Syracuse at NC State. There is a flag on the play.
False start, number 87. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Our 3rd quarter stats are brought to you by Excedrin.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dino Babers is taking right now, some Excedrin after that play call. 31, almost 32 minutes of ball possession for NC State. Only 13 minutes for Syracuse. You look at the plays, 66-37. Remember, this is a Syracuse team that averages about 75 plays a game.
7th most in the football bowl subdivision. In fact, against South Florida this year here at the Dome, they had 105 plays, a school record, and it tied an ACC record. Well below that today, Dave.
Now, they talk about how they would like to create a 5th quarter of football. When you play that many plays, that's what it feels like to the opposition. Well, this feels like a half of football so far for Syracuse, yet they're still in the football game.
3rd and 17. Once again, Zach Mahoney in for the injured Eric Dungy. Got hit at Clemson and could not play today.
2 explosive receivers in the slots.
Mahoney takes off. Going to be stopped almost immediately short of the 30-yard line. Justin Jones making the tackle for NC State, red and white. Roddy?
Tom, when we talked to the Syracuse coaches yesterday, we asked them what about this NC State defense scared them, and the first answer was Bradley Chubb. He is fantastic off the edge. We talked about him in the open, and he's been a big part of why this NC State team has been able to get pressure on Syracuse this game.
Roddy, thank you. They are attending to a player down for the Orange. So we'll take a brief timeout. We'll check on his status when we come back to the Carrier Dome.
ACC football is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. By Coke. By Tire Pros. And by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
The beautiful Syracuse University campus and the statue of Ernie Davis right outside the Carrier Dome, the Heisman Trophy winner and part of the legend of 44 here at Syracuse University. Colin Byrne was the player who was shaken up. He was escorted off the field under his own strength.
That's the freshman center, Tom, so that we'll see how that affects the next drive.
Look at Hoffrichter, another booming punt. Takes the Syracuse bounce straight up in the air inside the 10. And they'll mark him right near there. 61-yard punt, and Hoffrichter is putting on a show. All right, you're feeling like a champion today. Tire Pros giving you the opportunity to be one. With the road to the championship sweepstakes, enter for a chance to win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC championship game in Orlando and a new set of Continental tires. Enter today at TireProSweepstakes.com. Again, a 61-yard punt by Sterling Hoffrichter. Wolfpack football and leading 28-20. Early moments of the 4th quarter. Teams met last year in Raleigh. That was a win for NC State, 42-29. Gillespie room to run. Gillespie, first down yardage. You got 12 as we go back to Charlotte. Check in on Miami and Virginia.
Well, let's head to Charlottesville, and the Hurricanes all over your Who's, Stan.
Yeah, David Njoku, he's diving over pylons last week. This week, he's diving all over the Who's. Back into the end zone for consecutive weeks.
Miami up 17-7, guys.
And Miami trying to get themselves bowl eligible. 5-4 coming in today's game. Big game for them as well, trying to claw their way into a bowl game.
Miami will be involved in one of the games we'll have for you on the ACC Network next week as we travel to NC State as the Wolfpack will host the Canes. You saw Zaire Franklin come to the sideline for the Orange. Andrew Armstrong has come in for him, number 12. Some of you will see that game, others Virginia and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech today. Finley threads it in. Jalen Samuels on the grab. Good looking toss from Finley. 11 yards.
Shows the toughness. Jalen Samuels limped to the sideline early in the game and got his ankle retaped. Roddy said they put a big thick wrap on his ankle, and he's fought his way back into the football game. In fact, he's been a major factor. Had a big third down conversion in the last drive and a nice catch there on the sail route from the slot. So Samuels has fought through that pain in the ankle.
How about Ryan Finley, Dave? 16 of 24 and 276 yards passing. This time they'll run it. Reggie Gillespie got a couple. Ran into Chris Slayton, number 95. He's a redshirt freshman along that very youthful front line for the Orange. And we talked to defensive coordinator Brian Ward. Excited about what the future holds defensively for this unit.
Yeah, Syracuse really young. The two inside linebackers, Franklin and Bennett, who have been as advertised, have been all over the field. They're kind of the veterans of that group. They're both juniors, and so they've got a bunch of young kids around them playing, and they think the future is bright defensively.
NC State with the football. That's Matt Days. Has a touchdown run. In fact, he's got two of them. One in the second quarter, one in the third quarter. This time he takes the direct snap. Days. Little shimmy shake up to the 37-yard line. Paris Bennett came in and made the stick on Days.
Yeah, been an all-day game between Days and these two inside linebackers, Franklin and Bennett. Franklin gets him around the waist, and then Bennett drops the hammer on Days. Been a heck of a battle. Now, they converted 4 out of 4 times on that touchdown drive the last time they touched the ball.
8 of 15 for the Pack on third down. This is 3rd and 5. We're inside of 12 minutes to go in regulation in the Dome. Finley. Incomplete. Looked like Samuels was the intended target.
Wow. He saw Ellison closing and decided not to offer the football. This is a ball thrown in traffic. It's going to be between the defenders, and it's on the money. But Samuels just decides he's not going to catch the ball, and Ellison will change your mind. He's had a couple of big hits in the game.
The Steam comes up to meet it at the 26. And the Steam, after a 36-yard punt, just a 4-yard return. Travius Wright making the tackle on special teams. Ben Schwartzwalder, the legendary head coach here at Syracuse University, and that statue out in front of the football offices. 28-20, NC State with the lead on the road.
Yeah.
You're watching ACC football, presented by Mellow Mushroom.
Now, we talked about Eric Dungey, number 2 in the ACC in total offense. Did not go today because of the big hit in the Clemson game. So it's been Zach Mahoney. Had a couple moments where he's made some plays. They're going to need him to be big here, Tom.
A collision at the 35-yard line with Arias Moore. Josh Jones also there, but Mahoney tough, and he got 6, and now he's coming wide.
Go that Wildcat set with Fredericks in the backfield with Strickland.
Strickland takes the snap. Strickland, second level, and just short of midfield.
Well, give Jordan Fredericks number 22. He's standing over the sideline waiting for his opportunity. He gets another good block right there. Fredericks gets a block on the linebacker Moore, and Strickland steps right in behind.
This is again Strickland on the direct snap. Maybe one as Chubb makes the tackle, the junior from Marietta, Georgia.
A couple tackles for loss, a couple sacks for Chubb. Here he just knifes to the inside. Tough guy to handle. Bradley Chubb.
Brother Brandon plays for the Rams. Cousin Nick running back for Georgia. Mahoney trying to get away, and he can't. Arias Moore took him down. They'll lose 5.
And just lost Moore where Moore was lined up. This is just inexperience from Mahoney. As Moore comes off the edge, he doesn't recognize the look. He needed to give that ball off instead of hold on to it. And Moore is able to have another tackle for loss. That's what this defense is. Coach Huxtable has a front 7 that play in your backfield a lot.
And before this play can get started, whistles will halt it, and a timeout taken by NC State.
There's no play. Timeout was called before the snap. First charge timeout of the half, NC State.
We'll take a break from the Carrier Dome. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Also streaming live on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. 28-20, NC State in front here in the 4th.
Well, we talked about these slot receivers, and they really have not been heard from, but they're in the slot to the top right up there.
Mahoney's pass is complete over the middle. A steam inside the 40, and a first down for Syracuse.
Well, those are the guys we were talking about. Phillips and Esteem. They get him the pass on the quick screen.
Mahoney had missed his previous 5 passes, now 2 in a row, and Atawo on the edge, a short gain. Amba Atawo, the senior, gets 4 yards on that catch. He does have an 81-yard TD catch today from Mahoney.
Got Atawo in the backfield now.
Mahoney again going deep to the end zone, and a touchdown for the Orange. Alvin Cornelius made the catch. 34 yards, but there are flags on the play.
Personal foul, shot block, number 58 and number 4. 15-yard penalty, second out.
Okay, the penalty is on Strickland, the back, and Donnie Foster, who is the backup center into the game. Going to happen right here in the middle, right there in the middle. Number 4, Strickland, goes low as Foster's trying to keep his hands on the nose tackle, and then Niles Clark right in the hip pocket of Cornelius. What a catch by Clark by Cornelius with Clark right there.
So from the 49 of NC State, Mahoney, as the pocket collapses, and he's dragged down. NC State and Darian Roseboro.
You know, these 2 edge players, Roseboro, throw Street in there as well. Street, Roseboro, and Chubb do a great job of getting after it. There's Coach Huxtable. Roseboro coming off that inside right side, spins. Mahoney kind of stepped into it and helped him out, but Roseboro came in with 5 sacks and got him another one.
Sophomore from Lincolnton, North Carolina, makes the play.
Not a lot in the book for this one, Tom.
They have to get to the 28 of NC State. Mahoney batted in the air and incomplete. Roseboro again with the pressure.
And Tocho does a really good job, the corner to that side. They wanted to throw the screen to Esteem again, but Tocho was all over it. So Mahoney wanted to take care of the ball and wait. And then as it turned out, because he was trying to take care of the ball, almost put it in harm's way anyway. But really nothing you can do from a play call standpoint in that situation.
Mahoney, making the 5th start of his career, has to come to the sideline. Started 4 games last year and in for the injured Eric Dungey today. Hoffrichter, who has boomed his last 3 punts, hits this one pretty well also. Cherry watches it bounce at the 21, takes an NC State bounce and roll up to the 26. 34 yards on the punt. And we'll come back to the Dome in just a moment. The statue of Abraham Lincoln outside the Maxwell School of Citizenship. And we'll be back afterward from your local ACC station.
Welcome back. Katie and Coach here with you in the Charlotte studio. Let's head out to Virginia. The Who's fighting their way back, Coach.
Courageous throw by Ben Kirk. 13-yard touchdown to David Eldridge. 17-14 Wahoos.
7 of 10 on third down conversions, too, Coach. So pretty good. Guys, for now, back to you, Tom, Dave.
That's not 17-14 Wahoos.
Katie, thank you. The Hurricanes trying to get bowl eligible and improve their record to 6-4. Clemson, Louisville, Wake Forest, Florida State, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech already bowl eligible in the ACC. A career high 25 carries today for Matt Days, closing in on 100 yards. He's got 94. First and 10 for the Pack from the 27. Days another carry. That's carry number 26 in the game for Matt Days. Here's a look at our Toyota game summary. For summaries of other ACC games, go to the Toyota Game Center on the ACC.com.
460 yards of total offense, 8 of 16 on third down. Days just mentioned, Tom just mentioned Days' numbers. Mahoney has been efficient. He has the one big play to add a towel, but give Syracuse credit. They have hung in here. The numbers do not tell the story. Syracuse has hung in here against NC State. Just a one-score game.
Ryan Finley has a 68-yard TD pass. That in the third quarter to Kelvin Harmon, who broke away for the score. Finley rolls the pocket. This one's complete. Samuels taken out just beyond the 30-yard line.
Oh, what a good tackle on the outside, Tom, by Corey Winfield, the corner. This was a play where they wanted to get the ball to Samuels early, but a good job of kind of taking that away by Black, the defensive end, and then Winfield makes the tackle to force third and medium again.
Fifth catch of the game for Jalen Samuels from Charlotte, North Carolina. 8 of 16 in the game on third down for NC State.
Franklin showing blitz right here. The middle backer looking to come. See if they check out of it. Looks like they may have.
Kelvin Harmon is to the top of your screen. Right on the numbers.
Still coming. Oh,
whistle.
And give Franklin credit.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Tom gives Zaire Franklin a ton of credit. He made it look like he was going to come, then he backed out. It made it look like he changed the play. Finley's trying to gauge whether he's coming or not. They're trying to get a call for the sideline. Lost track of the play clock, and now instead of third and medium, it's third and long, and your percentages of converting go way down.
Inside the Carrier Dome. Opened up back in 1980. 2016 edition of the Cuse. Running up against NC State on third down. Finley lets it go. It's complete. First down and more. Braylon Cherry silencing the Dome crowd up past the 45, and he got 23 yards on the play.
And Corey Winfield got lost where he was. He paid so much attention to the receiver that was lined up over him that he didn't stay outside. He's in position to take this throw away. But Cherry, you see, Cherry just steps around Winfield and outflanks him to make the catch.
NC State over 50% on third down in this game. They've been clutch in the second half in that third down situation. On the edge, Samuels. Samuels downshifting inside the 30 and dragging orange defenders with him.
Boy, good call, Tom. It's exactly what he did. He dropped the hand, just dropped the shift, stepped into high gear, gets a good block from Lewis right there, just enough of Ted Taylor, the linebacker, and then you see the acceleration of Samuel.
24 yards for Jalen Samuels. He is on that NC State sideline at the moment. 3 receivers to the right side for Ryan Finley. Looks that way. Complete Cherry. Cherry racing down to the 15 and wrestled to the turf by Corey Winfield.
Coach Drinkowitz is doing a really good job, the O-coordinator for NC State, of getting his playmakers the ball on the perimeter. They've got great speed at the skill positions. Cherry probably the fastest of that group, but you just saw Samuels as well on a quick, easy throw from Finley. Picks up an explosive play.
7 catches in the game for Cherry. Inside of 5 minutes to go in regulation. Days sidesteps one man, and Matt Days to the end zone for the 3rd time today for the Pack.
Matt Days' ability to make people miss in space is incredible. What a drive by NC State there. Just a lot of resolve there. Got the ball on the perimeter of their playmakers, and then when they got down close, handed to their feature runner, Matt Days, and what an effort. Take a look at this drive and the way NC State operated. Just the handoff to Days going to make Ellison miss in the hole, and his explosiveness is amazing.
I got the chance to have a front row seat for this second touchdown, the one that we just saw from Matt Days. And the best thing that you can see is that the safety fills the hole and hit that cutback. I mean, you can't teach stuff like that. His ability to make people miss is fantastic. And I'm just glad that I was in position to see it up close and personal, because it's pretty impressive down here on the field.
Roddy, what's it take? You played running back in the ACC. How do you kind of keep your resolve? Because it was 1 yard run, 2 yard run, no yards, because Bennett and Zaire Franklin have been getting after him. And then all of a sudden, boom, he pops one. He scores the 2 touchdowns.
Well, you just have to have a belief that throughout the game, things are going to work out. And you have to have faith in your guys up front that they're going to continue to open up holes for you. And then when you get a chance, you got to make that one guy miss that you saw Matt Days. A good running back coach will always tell you, the safety's on you. We'll take care of everybody in the front seven. That safety's on you, and Matt Days is one of the best at making that guy miss.
Days has gone over 100 yards for the 7th time this season, and the 12th time in his career. 108 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Well, let me narrow it down even more than that. The 12th time in his last 18 games. I mean, it's amazing how good Days has been as his last 2 seasons.
27 carries for Days, a career high. And here's our performance of the game, brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. It is Matt Days with the big numbers today for the Pack inside the Dome.
He served notice in his first game as a freshman, had 3 touchdowns as a freshman opening day 4 years ago, and now he's one of the top rushers in NC State history. Coming off back-to-back 100-yard performances, had 100 yards against Florida State last week, and he stepped up big again today, Roddy.
When we talked to Coach Drink about Matt Days, I mean, the adjectives flew freely, but they said the biggest thing is that Matt Days is a guy who wants the football. He wants it when the game is on the line. He wants to be the guy with the ball in his hands, and he has the talent to do something with it.
Really been impressed, Tom, with the way Mahoney's handled his business. No, they haven't had the offense that they needed, and Eric Dungy is a big-time player in this conference, number 2 in the ACC in total offense. But Mahoney got pressed into service, and he's done a decent job of taking care of the ball. They just haven't had enough explosives to get NC State defense credit. They've limited the explosive plays that this offense is noted for.
Well, Dave Doran on those sidelines, you know, the Dome is a special place for Doran. Back in 2014, Dave, he won his first ACC game as the head coach of the Pack. They won 24-17 on the road here in Syracuse, and they're trying to do the same thing again today, leading 35-20 here in the 4th.
I give Dave a lot of credit. I had a chance to talk to him prior to the game, and very upbeat about what's going on with the program. The athletes are bringing in, how good recruiting is going for him, all those kind of things. But he was talking about, hey, we're concentrated on trying to win here today. This is going to be a tough win for us. If we can get this, then they want to drive forward and try to make themselves an 8-win team. And that's essentially what they could do if they could win out.
Mahoney has to get out of that pocket, hits the ejection button up to the 40, and Justin Jones makes the tackle just 4 yards. And that expression will tell you the feeling of the crowd here inside the Dome. Although the Orange trying to hurry things up with less than 4 minutes to go, but trailing 35-20. Syracuse 2-2 in the Dome this season. Now 4th and 5. Mahoney's still out there, so they'll go for it from their own 41. Not much other choice at this juncture. Mahoney wrapped up short of it. That NC State defense swarming. Chubb and Fernandez.
Yeah, and this is a young offensive line, backup center in the game. Now, this is actually their 3rd team center in the game, 3rd sack on the day. But we talk about Bradley Chubb coming in. This is a guy Roddy mentioned at the beginning, that he was going to be a force. And can you get him blocked? Because he came in as their leading sack man, almost had an interception right there, but just wreaks havoc on what's going on. And here they stand him, almost not fair. You stand him up inside as a linebacker and then let him blitz against the guards in the center. And he and Moore are in there to make the play to kind of snuff out the final, probably the final opportunity. for Syracuse here.
Well, his brother Brandon, who's now with the Lions, going to be happy about that result. Father Aaron played linebacker Georgia in the 80s, and Bradley Chubb has come to play today, the junior for NC State, as they get the football back in Syracuse territory. Wolfpack trying to stop a 4-game losing streak. You know, they've been very close this season as the officials come in and stop the clock. 3:18.
And a flag on the far side of the field.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Dave, here's our Duluth Trading Company hardest working player. Jalen Samuels touched that football 9 times today.
And it's the way he does it. They do such a creative job of getting this kid the ball because you can't classify what he is, which makes him really valuable. Is he a tight end? Is he a running back? He's the leading receiver on his team, plays in the slot. He can play outside. And he's done all that. The 90 yards or so that he's got with that ankle injury that he suffered early in the game. So a lot of toughness exhibited by our hardest working player today.
And now 27 career touchdowns for Samuels, who had a 3-yard TD run in the second quarter.
You talk about how do you get the ball to Jalen Samuels, and early in the game, this is one of his first touches of the game. He gets rolled up on that right ankle and limped to the sideline, and Roddy told us they put a big boot of tape on his ankle, but he gets the 3-yard touchdown run there. And this was a huge play in their last touchdown drive. On 3rd down, lost some ground, but was able to get up the field and get the first down. Just continue to do some stuff on the jet sweep, the screens. He's a guy that probably could be a number of teams' featured runners as their tailback, but he's so valuable. And when you got Matt Days, what a dynamic duo those two guys are.
Gillespie on the run. Dave, when you look at the schedule overall for NC State, yes, they had lost 4 in a row, but they had to play back-to-back teams in the top 10 on the road in Clemson and Louisville, and 4 of their 5 losses by 7 points or less for Dave Doran, and they're about to win their 5th game of the season and just 1 more for bowl eligibility, 2nd straight year.
Well, everybody will point to the effort that they had down in Clemson, where his team was in position to win the football game and just couldn't finish the show. And that's what he's talked about all along. You know, yeah, they look really good and they do a lot of good things, but they have to find a way to finish games. And it's finish games against some of the heavyweights. And Clemson got away from them. This was the one that probably helped get them beat the next week against Louisville. There's the missed field goal. Ultimately, Deshaun Watson would throw the touchdown in overtime. And then this was a game that really bothered him because he felt like his team was much better than BC. Throw the interception late. It snuffs that one out. And then just kind of a jump ball to Rudolph here creates a touchdown at the end. Had a touchdown drop right before that would have ended the game and beaten Florida State. But hey, you can talk about it all you want to. He's the first guy to tell you, hey, we can talk about all the close games. We got to find a way to win some of those games.
Now, flag is out. Gillespie runs it inside the 10, but a flag is out on the play. Well, we sort that. Dave, you've got to give credit to this NC State defense. They held Florida State to just 63 yards rushing. Today for Syracuse, just 28 yards rushing.
Yeah, backed it up with a heck of a performance against the run game. And you knew Syracuse was going to be a little bit challenged running the football anyway. That's not who they've been.
Block below the waist, number 54. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Will Richardson, the right tackle, gets flagged for the illegal block on the play, so the Gillespie run will come back. But the effort against, and we share a Mellow Mushroom game of the week next week. NC State and Miami will be one of the games, and of course the other game, Georgia Tech hosting Virginia. So those 2 games will be available to you here on the ACC Network.
First down, 25.
So just 43 seconds to go for the Wolfpack, about to win their 3rd straight against the Orange. That'll improve their record to 5-5, 2-4 in conference play, and their first road victory of the season for NC State, which had been 0-3. The Orange dropped to 4-6. They're now 2-4 in conference play and 2-3 at the Dome.
Well, it's unfortunate that Eric Dungey couldn't play today. I thought that Zach Mahoney did a nice job filling in, but obviously when you lose the #2 total offense guy in the conference, that's going to hurt you. And Eric Dungey, it did hurt not having him on the field and the explosives that they have offensively. But Dino Babers has got it going the right direction here at Syracuse, too. I think this is going to be a lot of fun as we start to watch these two programs continue to develop over the next couple of years.
That is a great win on the road for Dave Dorn and the NC State Wolfpack. So impressed with the mental toughness of his team, and it showed today. For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, check out the ACC.com. Join us for the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks next Saturday at noon, followed by the Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week. Some will see Miami at NC State, others will see Virginia at Georgia Tech. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.